Ladies and gentlemen, we're live for UFC 318 pay-per-view fight week. We just had a pay-per-view a couple weeks ago where the lightweight strap got wrapped around Ilia Toporia's waist. Now we got a lightweight bout for the BMF title, the trilogy. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. We got a ton of fights on the card. I mean, obviously, if you're not going to have a real title fight on the card, you better have a good amount of fights for us to talk about. So we're probably going to be trying to skim through some of these that don't really deserve it. There are some wide lines, but I got my boy Dan from Half the Battle with me tonight on the live stream to break down the entire card, give our betting advice, give our betting insights, kind of what we're seeing. We can give out picks if we want to, but how we doing tonight, Dan? Thank you for joining me and taking some time out of your day to be on the Hey Jai Picks YouTube channel.
I'm doing amazing, man. Thank you so much for having me. This is super exciting because this main event is truly a special fight. And I don't know if a lot of the listeners know this, but you and I met up in Atlanta at UFC Atlanta. And I got a question for you. Do you know what was the last UFC main event in Atlanta before the one we went to?
Well, I know that Holloway and Poirier
That's right.
main event in Atlanta, so I'm going to guess that one.
That's right. That's right. So this is such a special fight for me, you know, having been there for the second one of the best fights of all time. And I don't say that lightly because the co-main event was Israel Adesanya versus Kelvin Gastelum, you know? So
yeah, that was a good one too.
Man, I'm super pumped about this fight.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect matchup for Dustin Poirier's retirement fight. And I think there's a lot of motivation for both sides, obviously, because, you know, Dustin Poirier wants to get the BMF title. Max Holloway's got to defend the BMF title. And then Max is going up against a guy he's lost to twice. And Poirier doesn't want to go out with a loss. So I think it's the perfect fight to make. But I'm interested to see what you got to say about that one. But we always have to start with the first fight of the night. So we scrape ourselves down to the first fight of the night, which is Carly Judice taking on Nicole Kiari. And Nicole Kiari comes in here as the underdog. Carly Judice is the favorite. She is the local chick. She's from Lafayette, Louisiana. Kind of fights like Dustin Poirier. I don't know how much tape you've watched of Carly Judice, but like watching her throw her hands, I'm like, dude, did she just watch Dustin Poirier's boxing and try to emulate it? So very high volume striker. She's coming off here after a huge win against Eunice Dubin. I mean, the round one head kick KO, it was nasty. So she extends her 100% finish rate when it comes to her wins. And Nicole Kiari coming off the loss to Ernesta Caracate, who did fight Carly Judice and beat Carly Judice very slightly on the Contender Series. So this is a women's MMA fight that they just had to throw at us, you know, to start off the card. But honestly, when I look at it, I don't think it's going to be a bad fight. Like I think Carly Judice is maybe one of the more exciting, you know, lower level women's MMA fighters. So I'm interested to hear what you got to say. I'm leaning Judice here as far as a winner goes, but minus 300 is, you know, a little bit pricey. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I agree with you. Like the volume just stands out right off the bat, right? There's not going to be any empty space, you know, for breathing, which is what Nicole Kiari is going to need here, because she's going to try to get takedowns. She's going to try to, you know, impose her will on the ground. And look, if she can get a submission, all power to her. But if Carly Judice stands back up, there's going to be no space for Kiari to take those breaths, to reset, because there's going to be jabs in her face. There's going to be teeps in her stomach. There's going to be roundhouse kicks coming at her legs, man. And yeah, you know, I think they're bringing Judice along the right way. You know, for an entry-level fighter, these are the fights you give her. And in that last one against Eunice Dubin, I didn't know what was going to happen. I know a lot of people were super confident on Judice there. Congrats to all of you. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And damn, like she made a statement there. So yeah, you know, we know what she's got to do here. She's got to keep the standing, use that volume, and she probably wins a decision. But it's interesting to see that under getting steamed here. You don't often see that in this weight class. First fight of the night. Oftentimes you think it's going all three. A lot of people disagree with that.
Yeah, we'll pull up the odds here and check them out. But, you know, that under, I guess you're saying it's getting steams at what, plus 190 for the under 2.5. I kind of think Dubin was just that low level that, like, I mean, and Cagliari caught her with a head kick. Like, if you're going to knock out a girl, we just saw it last week. You know, Fatima Klein, Melissa Martinez, there was no sense of a finish ever in that fight until the head kick landed. So then, you know, you look at Judice's win, it's the head kick KO. Maybe she could get another one. I mean, she throws so much. She's going to have a lot of opportunities to catch the right shot. I don't think Cagliari is going to have a lot of success with the takedowns. Just, you know, watching the Fernandez fight with Judice, she got taken down a couple times, but she got right back up. And I think, you know, Judice 2-3 could maybe be a play if we're looking at the odds. It's not super juicy. Obviously, this is early in the week, so, you know, these aren't probably the best odds you're going to get during the week, but Carly Judice round 3 is plus 1,000. You know, I'm not really too excited about that. I mean, it's nice odds, but considering I'm not really counting her as the biggest power puncher, it would definitely have to be a situation where Cagliari's starting to gas out or whiffing on takedowns and not looking good. But overall, I think it's probably Judice by decision. I'd have to look at it a little bit more, but I don't think right now I would be confident to parlay Carly Judice at the number, just because Cagliari's jiu-jitsu on the ground is kind of dangerous. And, you know, we haven't really seen Judice in those situations very much. So buyer beware. But anything stand out for you as far as the odds go?
Nah, there was one comment. Flex brought up something interesting. He said Judice moneyline, OnlyFans fade. I didn't know what's her name has an OnlyFans. Now, is she posting training footage? Is she posting something else? Like, I need some details here. If this is actually the OnlyFans fade, or if it's like a Norma Dumont situation where she's just showing training footage, in which case, you know, it kind of cancels itself out.
It's interesting you say that, because I don't think she has one. But when she made her UFC debut, I was like, this girl at some point in her life probably going to have one, okay? Because she's like 29. You know, obviously she's a pretty good looking girl for MMA standards, and I don't really think she's that great. So after a couple of losses, like, she's gonna make the post, join an OnlyFans. You know, click the link in the bio. So we'll see. I mean, I don't think she has one right now. Brandon says Kay Hansen. Oh, all right.
Well, hey, real quick. Speaking of Kay Hansen finished this girl, just so y'all know.
That's what I thought he was going to say about it. So that's why I clicked on it. But yeah, Kay Hansen finished her on the ground years ago in Invicta. It was like a neck crank or something like that.
Hey, real quick, man. Is my like screen flashing, or is that just on my end?
It's just on your end, I believe.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Awesome.
Unless the chat says anything. But I think
if you say I'm good, then I'm good, man.
This guy says you need to make an OF.
Thank you.
You might have to hop on that, but Killer Fight Picks. He's trying to say we need to link, boys. Interesting. Chat's getting a little bit sus already. I didn't know my chat was that sus, but I guess it's trending that direction.
I think this guy waited all day for me to be on here to get the chance to get some attention, man. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for being invested, man.
I guess. All right, let's move on to the next one. Bruno Veta taking on Jackson McVey. Jackson McVey is coming in here as a huge dog, and he was a very slight favorite to win his UFC debut against Dumas. And then he was a dog to the guy that we talked about. That was the week that I was on your show.
Yes, sir.
And was it Chris Ewert showed up like he just, you know, had a week-long bender of Modelo's and chimichangas, and they couldn't fight. So unfortunately for Jackson McVey, he steps in here against Bruno Fajeda. And I think it's obviously, you know, a huge step up compared to what he was supposed to be fighting. But I don't know about you. I've never really been super high on Bruno Fajeda. Like, I think he's definitely got power in his hands, but I think he's fighting in the wrong weight class. Like, he could definitely shed some pounds, probably make 170. Now, is that the right move for him? I don't know. But I still know that he's a little bit undersized at 185. I don't think his defensive grappling is that great. I mean, Abus Magomedov, you know, pretty solid fighter, did what he needed to do on the ground with him. But also we saw Dustin Stoltzfus do a similar thing to him in round 1 before he caught him with 2 spinning back elbows. I think this guy is just kind of reliant on his power. If he can't land it, I don't know exactly what he's good at. Now, obviously, he's coming off a submission win against Armen Petrosian. So that's good, but it's Armin Petrosian. Like, the guy can't grapple. So there's a lot of unknowns with McVey. What we do know is he's a fast starter, big guy, likes to be in the clinch, likes to, throw a bunch of clinch knees, clinch elbows, a little sneaky submission package as well. But overall, I mean, he's just big. He's just going to be a lot bigger than Bruno Ferreira. So considering where the odds are, like, I might have to take a stab on Jackson McVey at plus 500, but maybe you could talk me out of it. What do you think?
No, I'm not going to talk you out of it at these odds. Look, McVey's an unknown. Like, we really don't know much about him. He could be a great prospect. He could be a can. We just don't know. The thing we do know is that Bruno Ferreira is going to run into a lot of problems at this weight class just based off his stature, right? He's listed at 5'10". Look, I stood next to this guy. He ain't no 5'10". We were the same height. He's like 5'8", bro, okay? And let me just say this, man. At 185, you cannot be 5'8". Like, the days of that being the case, of like the Hector Lombards and the Husimar Palhares, those days are long gone, my man. Like, you cannot be 5'8" at 185 pounds anymore. Now, don't get me wrong. He's good. He hits hard. He's got nasty jiu-jitsu. So, like, he's going to win some fights here and there. But I'm talking about getting that consistency. Like, if you want to go on a serious win streak, you got to drop to your right weight class. Now, it might not matter here because McVey is not experienced. Like, again, McVey is a big unknown. But, again, what if McVey is this prospect that we don't know about? And the reason I got to talk in these terms, my man, is because minus 650 to plus 475. We're not talking about no minus 200, no minus 250. We're talking about almost minus 500. So now it's okay to take a guess. It's okay to take a half unit shot, a quarter unit shot, whatever the case may be. So, look, pure pick. I am going to go with the more experienced and proven guy here, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. He's going to struggle with long-term consistency in this weight class simply with his height alone.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this one, like, if I take a quarter unit, half unit stab on Jackson McVey and he gets sparked in the first round, am I going to be mad about it? Like, no, I'll take that loss. I won't even think about it the next day or even 20 minutes later. But if you're, chalk it up minus 600 on Bruno Ferreira and he's getting kneed in the clinch and he's starting to make some grunting noises, getting those knees in the clinch, like, you're probably going to be pissed off for a long time. And the next time the Bruno Ferreira fights, you're going to be real pissed. So that right there tells me that it's a dog or pass. I'm going to think about the Jackson McVey a little bit. I mean, he also had to cut weight a couple weeks ago too. He made weight. So that's a factor too. Maybe I'll just wait to see, how they size up, or maybe the line will come down. We'll see. But
something interesting, hey Job, is that the under 1.5 is minus 245. Like, yeah. And the Ferreira inside the distance is minus 500. Look, I'm not saying that's not that's not what's going to happen. I'm just saying, like, I mean, maybe take the opposite of both those, and you never know. I mean, maybe they clinch for a round and a half. There, you go and cash a big dog bet. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
I mean, that under is crazy to me. Minus, I mean, that's like, okay, Bruno Ferreira, I don't think is chinny. I don't think he's like a fish on the mat. Jackson McVey, we don't even know if he's chinny or if he might have a granite chin. You never know. And he might get a takedown and just lay on him for a round. So, yeah, maybe that over is tempting, but both of these guys are finishers. That's why it is the way it is. But neither guy, I would say, is like we haven't seen them get finished that easily. I guess Ruzaboyev got him in round one, talking about Bruno Ferreira, but I wouldn't say McVey's hands are like Ruzaboyev. So interesting. Not much jumps off the board except for that money line on McVey for me, or maybe a McVey round one. Maybe it could be a sub. If Bruno Ferreira is going to be so much shorter, McVey could maybe snatch up some type of front choke if he's in that clinch and just wearing.
The thing about that, though, is, like, does Bruno have a neck to choke? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm curious about. And then, like, how's McVey's chin? There's so many questions. That's why, like, yeah, we'd be taking a guess. But if we take a guess, let's take a guess at big odds,
Exactly. We'll hit the chats real quick before we hop into the next one. But that one is, I'm interested to see it play out. I'm not going to lie. Like, these are the matchups where I'm kind of get excited about.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Bruno Ferreira's guaranteed violence. That's for sure.
Bruno will rush, either clips McVey or McVey will look something up quick, lock something up quick. Both look to get it over with quick. Yeah, that's true. UFC debut, though, could maybe play it a little bit safer. Sergio, I think we're going to see a lot of finishes on this card. I think we are as well.
I hope so, man.
I mean, where the odds are as far as the over-unders, they are expecting a good amount of finishes. But let's hop into the next one. There we go. Ryan Spann and the return of Lucas Dresky. We go from a lot of unknowns to a couple of fighters where we know a lot about them and not a lot of it is good. Ryan Spann coming in here off the loss to Waldo Cortez Acosta, heavyweight debut. He gets KO'd in the second round, but Waldo's a top 10 heavyweight now. So I mean, that's really not a terrible loss when you look at it now. Lucas Dresky, 1-5 in the UFC, I believe, in that one win. Walter Walker, the only man to survive Walter Walker in his entire career. So I mean, that's a feather in your cap for Lucas Dresky, but back-to-back KO losses, and I would assume this is probably the last fight on his contract. I mean, 1-5, I can't assume you have like a couple more fights on the contract. I think this is a massive step down in competition for Ryan Spann. And I think they're setting him up for a win because they need players at heavyweight. And they pretty much did this with what's his face? Kennedy Nzechukwu. When he moved up to heavyweight, who'd they feed him? Chris Barnett, Lucas Dresky. Well, Ryan Spann couldn't beat Waldo. I guess Waldo is moving up the ranks. So they need players at heavyweight. Ryan Spann is probably going to be a player because it's not a deep division. Let's throw him Lucas Dresky. If he can't finish Dresky, then, might be time to hang him up, Ryan Spann. So I think Ryan Spann gets him out of there in round one. Going to be way faster. I think he hits way harder. Not the best durability, not the best defensively overall, but he is dangerous. And if you're dangerous against Lucas Dresky, I think you could probably finish him. And even if this fight does get past round one, Lucas Dresky, I don't think has some amazing gas tank. Now, obviously, Ryan Spann falls off, but I don't know that Lucas Dresky is going to be, outworking him, like Waldo was and putting the pace on him. So I think it's Ryan Spann, round one. What do you got?
I mean, it should be. But I feel like I've said that before, right? This guy's 1-4 since 2022, and he's a wild card. Like, he'll knock out Dominic Reyes with a jab, and then he'll lose twice to Anthony Smith. And then you think okay, this guy's 6'5" with a near 80-inch reach. Maybe going to heavyweight is the right move. He missed weight for the Dom Reyes fight. Like, hey, get some water in your body and brain. And then he just looks terrible in that heavyweight debut. It was like, actually, this guy didn't even train for that fight. It's I don't know what to expect from Ryan Spann. But that being said, can the worst version of Ryan Spann still knock out Lucas Dresky? Probably. Yeah. But do you remember that picture that came out of Dresky before Contender Series, when he was jacked?
Yes,
and then dude tested positive for steroids, and he's got love handles now and shit, and it's like. And then he'll beat Johnny Walker's brother randomly, who's a top prospect at heavyweight. Dude, this shit makes no sense. It just makes no sense at all. I mean, yeah, I think Ryan should win, but I'm not trusting Ryan Spann with a cent of my money.
I think that's probably one of the funniest picks I've ever made that actually worked out in my YouTube channel history was Lucas Dresky versus Walter Walker. I was like, Walter Walker is a fraud. He has beaten a bunch of cans. Give me Lucas Dresky, and it actually played out. And now that we've seen where Walter Walker or what he's doing now, it's just the funniest thing to look back on that I actually got that right. I didn't make any money on it because I was too much of a puss to put money on Lucas Dresky, but I should have. But either way, let's look at the odds. I mean, Ryan Spann at -210, obviously his finishing equity, or at least his winning equity, is probably within the first couple of rounds. And that under 1.5 is -170. So they're kind of onto it. I mean, I honestly think Ryan Spann should have no problems here. I really don't see how Lucas Dresky sucks, dude. He's terrible. He's so bad.
I agree, but I feel like I've said that so many times before regarding Spann. With Anthony Smith, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, at least with Anthony Smith, he's actually shown you success, in the past. Lucas Dresky really hasn't. Even just think about OSP. Does this version of OSP beat Lucas Dresky at heavyweight?
I hope so.
I would hope so too. Like, I think Ryan Spann gets it done round one. What is the round one for Ryan Spann? Plus one.
Pull up Buster Cherry's comment. This sums it all up.
Buster Cherry. Where is that?
It's towards the end.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Wouldn't trust Ryan Spann to pick me up from the airport.
Exactly.
He'd probably be like drunk driving on the way there, get pulled over, and then get taken to jail or some shit. But yeah, Buster Cherry, what a nice name. Real amazing name right there from Mr. Cherry. Olajuwon Dream in the chat. Dresky has never finished anyone in the UFC. He hasn't. He does have a win though. Lucas Chicken. All right. Well, we're getting a little bit disrespectful in here, but we're just calling it how we see it at the end of the day. So apologies to Lucas Dresky. There was a time I believed in you, but it's not going to be this Saturday. I'll take Ryan Spann to get the W. Let's move on to the next one. And I'm going to let you go first on this one. I'm going to tee it up, though, real quick. We got Jimmy Crute, Marcin Prachnio coming off the loss to Modestas Bukauskas. Got submitted in round 3. Arm triangle, if you know, you know. Jimmy Crute, 0-3-2 in his last 5. Hasn't had a win in quite some time. He retired after he got guillotined by Alonzo Menafield. Then comes back a couple years later and gets into a real solid fight. Honestly, I enjoyed watching that fight. But 10-8'd Adolfo Bellato in round 1. Then proceeds to lose the next 2 rounds in the striking and kind of got his face jabbed off, got his leg kicked out, goes to a draw there. So he's looking to not go to another draw here against Marcin Prachnio. I think if it goes to decision, something probably went wrong. But what do you got?
I mean, Jimmy Crute's got a black belt that says he can tap this guy out. Now, will he use it? That remains to be seen because, back to the whole MMA doesn't make sense talk. Sam Alvey knocked this guy Prachnio out. And
yeah.
you know that Prachnio beat Khalil Roundtree in a striking match over 3 rounds. Like, dude, how am I supposed to even quantify that? How am I even supposed to make sense of that? Like, it just makes no sense. Like, Jimmy Crute should absolutely come out here, take this guy down one time, pass his guard, Kimura, guillotine, whatever the case may be, and tap this guy out. Like, and this was the original matchup when Crute fought, who did he just go to draw with recently? Bellato? Yeah. So it was supposed to be this fight. So clearly Mick and Sean think that this is a fight to get right for Jimmy because this was booked in Australia initially, right? It was supposed to be Jimmy and Marcin. Marcin pulls out. They bring in Rodolfo Bellato. Jimmy looks career best in round 1 and then gasses really badly, which he is known for. But I will say that was the best Jimmy we've seen in a while. Because like you said, in the Menafield fights, I believe the kid when he says that he was burnt out. Like, I could see in that performance. Like, that's not the Jimmy the Brute Crute that I knew, that I scouted on the regional scene, the kid that went 5 rounds hard before he made it to the UFC and was a top prospect in the UFC, had some stumbling blocks along the way. But I believe the kid, isn't he not even 30 yet or just turned 30?
I think he's 29.
Exactly. Like, I still think he's got some tread left on those tires. And I think this is the perfect opponent to get back on track, get your confidence back, show people that you can not only still win fights at this level, but finish fights at this level. Ultimately, I think this is an IQ test for Jimmy the Brute Crute. And I know he's failed those IQ tests many times. Will we give him another chance? Minus 300 is kind of wide, man. But Prachnio, like I said, man, he'll get knocked out by guys like Sam Alvey. But then he'll go beat Khalil Roundtree. It makes no sense. But yeah, I just, if him and Khalil ever ran it back, Khalil starches him easily. I think Crute submits him, but I've trusted Crute many times. I've lost money on Crute many times. Do I want to go back to the well? Probably not. But I mean, what's the submission looking like?
Let's pull up the odds. Submission for Jimmy the Brute Crute plus 155.
That's it.
That's probably the worst number you're going to get.
What's the knockout then?
KO plus, is that 375? Is that what it says? It's a little far for me. I think it says 375.
Maybe a ground and pound TKO. Hey, listen, maybe he catches the chin. Prachnio doesn't have the best chin. Crute's had some good standing knockouts, against guys that have beaten this guy. I know MMA math doesn't mean shit, but against, Bukauskas, against Alvey, 2 guys that slept, buddy. So Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, Crut's the pick, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he knocked down Bellato in round 1 too. And Bellato, I mean, for all his faults, the guy is extremely tough and he has a lot of heart. And I just don't see that from Prachnio, man. Like, I've had my days with Prachnio. I cashed on him against Devin Clark. And then I played him against Bukauskas. And he didn't, I think he won round 1. Round 2 is when he got hurt. And then he landed that crazy head kick when they were like in the pocket. And then round 3, the dude gets taken down. He's gassed out. And he gets submitted by an arm triangle from the wrong side. I mean, you're a jiu-jitsu coach. Like, you know, that should never work. It should never work. I mean, Bukauskas isn't even that great of a grappler either. So, I mean, if Bukauskas is submitting this guy from the wrong side, then I think Jimmy Crute should be able to do some dirty things to him on the mat. I mean, you tell me Jimmy Crute does what he did to Bellato in round 1 against Prachnio, that fight's over. Like, it's done. So I'm on Jimmy Crute this week. All right. You know Jimmy Butler, right?
Yes, sir.
This is Jimmy Crute.
Let's go.
Jimmy Crute is coming back for the dub this Saturday. He finishes Prachnio within 5 minutes. Round 1, it's going to happen. I think it's probably going to be a sub. I mean, if he can't take down Prachnio, then the world has gone to shit because he should absolutely be able to take him down if he wants to. Like you said, IQ test. All right. Prachnio is going to kick his legs from range, try to do what he does with his karate style. You just track this guy down once, you get to his hips, you take him down, and you submit him. It's as easy as that. Like, this is a free win for Jimmy Crute, in my opinion. So I'm going to take Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute round 1. Sounds great to me. I think he gets him out of there pretty easily, man. I was surprised the way that the over-under opened up. It was under 2.5 was minus 115. I'm like, dude, I mean, I honestly expected like a 1.5 line. I'm pretty sure the Bellato line was 1.5. If I remember correctly, I don't have anything to back that up, but I think it was 1.5.
He full mounted Bellato like a minute into that fight. I know that was based off what Bellato did, but let me say this, man. Bellato is like a Nogueira black belt, right? That's why Jimmy wasn't able to get a submission there. Yeah. I mean, what's Prachnio? A blue belt, white belt? Like, yeah, he ain't no Nogueira black belt, I'll tell you that much. So Jimmy gets into similar positions against Prachnio that he did against Bellato, and the fight could be over shortly after.
I agree. We'll hit the chats real quick. Max, we're talking main event already. Jimmy Crute, baby. This is Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute 2.0. Jimmy Crute with the easy lob. I don't know what that means. Lots of head kicks from there too. Velasco. Bellato is a Brazilian who trains under Glover currently. He does train under Glover. That is true. He got those Pereira calf kicks too. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Throws them the same way. Probs a draw. I mean, I don't think you're getting a draw here, man.
He fucked up Crute's calf, man.
He did. I mean, Bellato's got a solid jab and like good calf kicks. That's really about it. And no striking defense. So yeah, I think Jimmy Crute gets it done, boys. Pretty high on Jimmy to get his first win in a long time. Are you excited about Islam Dulatov?
Dude, yes, because oftentimes you see the OV, you think the guy's Chechen and, oh, great, we got to deal with another guy trying to sniff crotch, trying to make the crowd boo, like trying to lay on someone for 3 rounds. No one wants to see that. When you buy tickets for a UFC event, you want to see blood. You don't want to see a feel-out process. You want to see 2 men stand and bang until 1 man falls. And the thing about this dude, Islam Dulatov, is that's exactly what he does. He goes balls to the wall. He tries to get you out of there right away. And he's got a very vulnerable opponent in Fugit. Now, I say that, hey, Jav, and, I got burnt on Japanese Connor against Fugit. I got burnt on Quinlan against Fugit. Like, I don't think Fugit's good. Shout out to him. He keeps winning. I've lost a lot of money fading him. But I still think Islam Dulatov comes out here and does what these other guys should have done and starches him in 1.
I think so too, man. Like, I don't see how Fugit is going to deal with like the pressure, the boxing of Dulatov. His hands are fast. He's extremely on you from the jump, like looking to land big combinations. And I mean, some of the fights I've watched, it's like, it almost looks like abuse out there. Like, I don't know if you watched that Octagon fight he had, where he KO'd the guy like 5 times. And then they finally stopped it with like 1 second left in the round. He knocked him out up against the cage probably like 3 or 4 times. And the one time he landed a body shot and it like grazed him in the cup a little bit. And the guy like tried to call the ref in like it was a nut shot. I was like, dude, you just don't want to be there right now. And then they start the fight again. He immediately shot a takedown. Dulatov just stuffed it, just goes back to work. The problem with Dulatov, though, is he's so in your face that like he can be hit. So, I mean, if Fugit does land something, like, there's a possibility he puts him out, but I think he's probably more durable than Fugit. I think he's going to bring it to him in round 1 and probably get it done. And if Fugit wants to wrestle, I mean, he's not the worst wrestler, but I think Dulatov could probably stuff his shots. And he's got a dangerous submission package as well. Got a couple submissions on the record. So Dulatov, huge favorite, man. Minus 600. Over under 1.5 is pretty chalked. I understand because Dulatov's all wins are in round 1. And I don't know if Fugit can last, man. I mean, he lasted till the 3rd round with Morales, but was that Morales' debut or was it like his second fight or something like that?
I mean, to me, like, that doesn't buy you points in my book. That, hey, you got an extended ass whooping instead of getting knocked out in the 1st round. Like, what's funny is that you should switch their last names because Islam's the one that's going to be saying "fuck it," and Adam's going to be the one trying to, do some type stuff here. But I guess the biggest concern with Dulatov is like when fights get extended because of that balls to the wall style. I'm just not convinced, Fugit's the guy to expose that. But then again, I wasn't convinced he was the guy to hand Japanese Connor his first L or, even the Quinlan fight. Not that I was high on Quinlan, but I just, I have been very low on Fugit, and he keeps proving me wrong. So let's see if he does it again, but I highly doubt it.
I mean, they got Dulatov KO minus 170 submission plus 500. Interesting. Round 1 minus 120. That's actually not that bad, man. That's really not that bad. I thought it'd be worse. Considering he's minus 600, I thought it'd be like minus 150, minus 160.
I mean, Malat like introduced new submissions to the UFC against this guy. Like, no one's ever done a high risk guillotine in the UFC except Mike Malat against Fugit. So you never know.
Yeah, I think it's Dulatov round 1. Another fight where I think it's a round 1 finish. So it'll probably go to decision. But let's hit the chats. Can Dulatov wrestle? He can wrestle. I mean, we haven't really seen too much of it. Guys haven't really been able to take him down. But from his sprawls, like it seems like he's got a solid sprawl and he's boxing heavy. So he's not really going to be throwing a lot of kicks to get caught. And his hands are fast. So, I mean, I think he can get those underhooks, sprawl it. We're good. Morales was very green early in UFC. Yeah, it's true. He wasn't as aggressive as he has been as of recently. Japanese Connor needs to lift more weights.
Dude, okay, let's talk about Japanese Connor because that was crazy to me how, like, if you watch that dude's entire regional scene, right, he had 1 loss, and the loss was because he got DQ'd from stomping a dude out. Like, and then on Contender Series, he had this nasty pull counter knockout, and the dude he fought, like, they had a war. So, like, you got to see Japanese Connor's heart, all these things. And then he just goes to the UFC and just, like, cannot put it together whatsoever. So it's wild, man. Like, you can scout someone that can look like one of the better prospects, and once the bright lights are under them, everything goes out the window.
I was baffled at what Fugit did to him, dude. Like it looked like the guy just melted out there. Like
crazy.
Something had to be going on in his life or something, or I don't know what was wrong with the guy, but that pull counter he had on the Contender Series,
sick.
Like I could look at that all day. All right, let's go to the next one. Early prelims are over. We got 5 fights on the early prelims? Let's hope they all make it. So I'm trying to sit down early and be there for a while. Prelims to open them up. Is this going to be another round 1 KO? Alteba Gautier taking on Robert Valentin. I've been really upset with who they've been giving Robert Valentin. Now, obviously, you had to fight Ryan Loder for the Ultimate Fighter finale. And then they give him Torres Finney. And I'm like, I think Torres Finney sucks outside of his straight physicality in wrestling. So I took a shot on Valentin. I think it was It was either like round 1 or 2 KO, something like that. And he just couldn't get him off him. So, I mean, now he's finally facing a striker, which is what I want to see, but they're giving him the mini Ngannou, man. Like, Ateba Gauthier is one of my favorite guys that's just starting in the UFC just because he's so raw, so explosive, such a good striker, really calculated, but so powerful. His sprawls are pure strength, man. Guys get to his hips. He just digs the underhooks and they're awful. But if he's on his back, I mean, he doesn't look good. So, I mean, this is such a crazy fight because Gauthier is going to be such a dangerous guy on the feet that I mean, I don't think Valentine's going to be the better striker. Could he catch him? Sure, but I don't really think so. But at the moment the fight hits the ground, like, Ateba Gauthier is in trouble. He's been training at Manchester top team, I think Gauthier has. So, I mean, he's improving. He's only 23, man. He's only 23. And I gotta tell you a little bit of a story. Okay. And I hope I don't get some slack for this, but you're telling me that guy, Ateba Gauthier, is 23. I don't believe it. Okay. So the story comes back to when I was a kid. I was in like 2nd or 3rd grade, something like that. There's a new kid that comes into our town. He's adopted from Ethiopia. Great athlete. He's on all of our sports teams. We go to and play in these baseball, basketball tournaments, and all the other parents from the other team are telling everybody, check his birth certificate.
Oh my God.
He looks, he was probably 5 inches taller than everybody, like built, like strong. And I'm like, yeah, I don't believe he's the same age as me. And he's got a mustache. We're like 12 years old. And, he stayed the same height the whole way up through high school. Good friend of mine too. Great guy. But the age is like, there's no way, man. There's just no way that this guy's at 12 years old. He's got a mustache. He looks like he's built like an ox. So I'll tell you about Gauthier. I don't believe that he's 23 years old. He's probably 29. But either way, he's 6'4", 81-inch reach, absolute specimen. I can't wait to see him fight. I think he probably knocks out Valentine. But man, considering where the line is at, I don't know that I could get behind him from a money line perspective. What do you think?
I think Switzerland is known for 2 things: Swiss cheese and Swiss Army knives. Not fighting. I mean, I do got to give the guy credit because that elbow he hit on the Ultimate Fighter was disgusting, and he was a big dog his last fight against Torres, and I mean, he did better than a lot of people, myself included, expected him to do. That's why he's getting this opportunity. I feel like had he, been choked out in the first round, they would have gone ahead and cut his ass, So the fact that he made it to a hard-fought split, big step in the right direction. The issue is you're not fighting, a 5'8" middleweight anymore. A dude like we talked about that earlier, man. Like, it's an unfortunate place that Torres is in because like he should be fighting at 70s, but he can't make 70s, right? So yeah, it sucks, man. But yeah, look, you're telling me we got an African prospect versus a Swiss prospect? Who do you think I'm going with? But obviously, when you watch the Contender Series fight, it was kind of alarming how he gave up that takedown.
Yeah.
The lack of instincts, the kind of junior Taffa tendencies. But is Valentine going to be able to expose that? And okay, I know your counter will be check the birth certificate, but if this guy is really 23, hey, let's say he's 27. If this guy's really in his 20s, he can be making big leaps every single time we see him fight. To take it a step further, he's only 7-1. He's had less than 10 pro fights. So you're going to be seeing these big leaps every time he fights. Now, does that mean that he's exempt from a setback? I don't think so. I mean, I don't think anyone's exempt from that first setback. I'm just not convinced that Robert Valentine is the guy to hand it to him. So I'm going to go with Gauthier here to come out here and knock this dude out.
Yeah, I think he does too. I just, it scares me. The money line scares me just for the fact that we don't know what he has off his back, or at least we know he probably doesn't have much off his back. And I just don't know that Valentine is the guy to expose it because I don't really see him as some great wrestler, like an opportunistic submission guy. That's where I think, like, in order for the fight to hit the ground, Gauthier is probably going to make like some mistake, whether it's slipping on a kick or something, or he overextends on something, gets his back taken, something like that. So that's why I think Gaultier probably gets the KO. The fight's going to start on the feet. Each round starts on the feet. What he did in the Contender Series was basically like, all right, I'm on my back. I'll just wait till next round. And then just, KO'd him and then, or knocked him down and then got on top of him and TKO'd him from guard. So much lower level competition. But that dude was a wrestler, if I remember correctly. He was like some Japanese wrestler. He couldn't really do much. And I don't think you're getting like physicality takedowns on Gaultier. So Gaultier round 1, -110. Yeah.
Ugly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could maybe see it into round 2 because Valentine's tough. I don't really see Valentine as a guy that is going to stand right in front of him like Medina. That fight was hilarious to me because people were actually thinking Medina was going to go in there and beat that guy or like take him down and submit him. I'm like, dude, Medina lost. He got 30-27 on his Contender Series fight. He's not going to come in here and beat this guy. And the fact that, Medina had this granite chin, like if there's anybody that's going to knock that chin out, it's going to be Gaultier. So I like Gaultier to win. I like him to win early by KO, but money line ain't it for me, man. I think there's better spots on the card where you could parlay a money line for sure. We'll hit the chats. Medina took him down. Well, I don't remember it, to be honest. I think I was taking my dog out during that fight and I was watching it through the window and I just saw the KO. I was like, yeah, here we go.
And Medina didn't take him down. The guy on Contender Series took him down.
Yeah. I don't remember him Medina taking him down. So I think
Medina took down Zach Reese, not this guy.
That makes sense. Not one single soul thought, dude. I mean, we do the Long Shots Only live show every Friday, and there was at least 5 people that called in with like a Jose Medina decision, Jose Medina by sub. I mean, I know it's a long shot, but like, come on, you could probably find a better long shot than that. Medina goated chin. It's cracked now. It's cracked now. Yeah, Dix Insider said you're right. Shout out to Dix Insider, always in the chat.
Shout out. He's always supporting, man.
Always,
thank you.
Always, man, lives on the MMA YouTube. We'll go to the next one. You're gonna have to give me some insight on this one because I look at this one, I'm like, I don't know. But Francisco Prado coming in here off the loss to Jake Matthews, his first fight at 170, and he looked undersized, man. Like looking at him against Jake Matthews, I'm like, why is this guy at 170? Like Jake Matthews isn't even that big for welterweight. Excuse my burp. And he looks small. He did the same thing he usually does, which is swing hard, be durable, have a lot of heart, kind of slow down as the fight progresses. And then he's taking on Veritenov, and Veritenov hasn't shown me anything, like That's literally nothing that I could like. And considering where the line is at, Prado's a very slight favorite, Veritenikov slight dog. I'm like, if there was anything on the Veritennikov side that I could get behind, I would be willing to fade Prado, but there's nothing. So I don't really know what to do with this. What do you think?
I mean, it's back to the whole, hey, but he went the distance with Michael Morales. Like, yeah. So what? Listen, I think the issue with Veritennikov is, I mean, besides the lack of athleticism, besides the fact that he's a jobber, is, the age. What is he, like 36 now? So he's kind of getting up there. Yeah. And then with Prado, man. So, he's listed at 5'10". He ain't no 5'10". He's like 5'8" also.
Yeah.
And like, I think the reason he moved up is like, probably doesn't know how to cut weight properly, man. Because like, you should be at 55s. But one thing I do got to give him credit for is the kid's got a lot of heart, man. The kid will go for it. Like in that Jake Matthews fight, Jake Matthews has been in the UFC since Jake Matthews was 19 years old. Like Jake is 30 now. Jake's been in the UFC 11 years, bro. Like the experience gap there was just ridiculous. But I still feel like, it's hard to like take too many positive. You don't want to overblow losses, right? This guy went the distance with Michael Morales, this and that. But like, I can take some positives away from some of his losses. Like the first round against Zell Huber. I thought he put it on Zell Huber that first round, man. And then the range was just too much after that. And I do believe him when he says that he's cutting too much weight. I mean, look how the dude's built. He's like a tree stump, So I do believe that, but I also believe that he probably doesn't know how to cut weight properly. But the thing with Veritenov, maybe you can say, hey, that fight with Danny Barlow is pretty good. But, you know, Barlow is actually moving up to 85s now, too. Yeah, he is. He just announced it. Man, I just haven't seen something from Veritenov that, you know, gets me excited to take that shot. That, like, I know that Prado's 1-3 in the UFC. He's too small for the weight class. But usually when dudes are like 1-3, the UFC cut them, man. They cut Felipe Daytona when he went 1-3. What's the kid's name? Felipe Dos Santos. They'll cut a bunch of dudes that go 1-3. They're giving this kid another shot, and they're giving him a shot against a guy who's 36, who's what, 0-2, 0-3. I feel like Mick and Sean are like, hey, kid, no, in normal circumstances, we'd cut your ass, but maybe this will get you back on track, maybe, but you know, it's up to him to go do it. I just think he's going to fight with a little bit more spirit, a little bit more urgency, but it's hard to trust him. You know, it's hard to trust either guy, but give me the younger guy. Give me the hungrier guy. Yeah. But it's hard. It's hard to get behind.
It's kind of what I boiled it down to as well. Like, more heart, younger, could be making improvements. He trains at American Top Team now, which I thought was weird because he was a goat shed guy.
Sorry, who's training at ATT?
Prado.
Oh, nice. So he's got he's an anabolic top team now. That's good to hear.
Well, he was in his last fight too. So I expected his cardio to be better, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
That was Jake Matthews, in fairness.
Yeah, in fairness, it was. But he was a goat shed guy, and they were like promoting him. Like, I thought they were doing a good job with him. And then he lost to Zell Huber, and I guess he went to American Top Team. So I don't know what happened there, but you know, his first fight at ATT was Jake Matthews. This will be his second fight. So I would assume, you know, training at ATT, he's getting better. The size is always a question for me at 170. But, you know, considering he's younger and I think more explosive, I think he's got more durability as well. The thing with Veritenov is like, he just doesn't do anything, man. Like, he doesn't.
Exactly. That's my big issue, Hayden, is that, like, no volume, no aggression. Like, he's not a bad fighter, no athleticism. It's like, he's tough. Don't get me wrong, he's tough. But, like, who's going to be more urgent? I think Prado.
Prado by KO plus 285. It's not great, honestly. He's got pop, but, you know, all of his finishes are on the Argentinian regional scene, so it's not really saying too much. He does have one in the UFC, but it's Abin Azaitar. And that's not really he's a regional fighter as well, essentially. But yeah, I mean, this is probably a pass for me overall when it comes down to bets, because I need to see something from either guy before I put my hard-earned money on him. We'll hit the chats. Before we hit the chats, make sure you like the video. I'm going to make a deal with you in the chat. If we get this to 100 likes, Dan, if you're in, we'll make a little parlay at the end, 2-legger for people to enjoy. But we got over 200 live viewers. We're only at 31 likes. So smash the like button. If we get to 100 likes by the end of the show, we'll make a parlay if that's cool with you, Dan.
Only if they want that parlay bad enough. And the way to show us is 100 likes.
Exactly. I mean, it's free. There's over 200 people in the live right now. You could get it done in 1 second if you all just hit the like button for us. It'd be easy. Premium picks, 101. Let's go. How we doing, brother? Prado has low volume too. I wouldn't say it has low volume. He just whiffs on a ton of shots, man. Like, he just throws with everything he has. So he's not really like a touch guy. He's just trying to take your head off the whole time. Has anyone ever got their balls? Yeah, probably. Sam Patterson gang, stand up. The man that KO'd Danny Barlow.
That sent him up to 85s.
You sent him up to 85s, man. That was a crazy fight. Because I was pretty heavily on Barlow, at least publicly, not necessarily money line, but you know, like publicly, I had put out some Barlow picks, and I get clowned on it to this day. I think it's this dude. Comes in my chat every time I have a live chat. He reminds me about Sam Patterson beating Danny Barlow, because he must be a Sam Patterson fan or something like that. Elijah, hit the like button for the show. Hey, I appreciate that, brother. Nicole should be banned after last fight. That's true.
Dude, I watched that last night and I totally forgot about that. I was like, oh shit. Because, having watched the sport, when Paul Daly did what he did to Josh Koscheck, and obviously Paul Daly, super exciting knockout artist. I was really pissed off when they cut Paul Daly because there were so many exciting fights they could have made with him, right? And then this guy, not in a co-main event like Paul Daly was, like not in a big fight. No one gives a shit about this guy, and they didn't cut his ass. So either Dana's gotten a little bit more lenient, or he may have not even seen it happen.
I think Dana's got a lot more lenient because Connor's posting his wiener out there. I mean, John Jones is still crashing cars with women in it and doing everything. So, I mean, when there's that happening, I mean, if a guy pushes another guy after the fight, I think you just let it go. I mean, even the other week, Chris Curtis, Sean Strickland went in there and jumped the dude after he won a fight. And Chris Curtis fought 2 weeks later. So, I mean, they're letting anything fly nowadays. But let's get into the next one. Big man, Marvin Vtori, coming in here against Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen's best friend last week, Tuco Tokos, gets it done. And now he turns around here to fight on the pay-per-view in his home state on the prelims. Ranked middleweights are on the prelims. I mean, this was supposed to be the co-main event, wasn't it? Like a couple weeks ago. And then they get bumped down to the prelims. I don't know what's going on there because I would for sure think this should be a main card fight. But either way, wherever it is on the card, what do you think about this matchup, man? Because I've kind of gone back and forth. But this is a rematch. We can't forget about that. All right. I was there at the Hard Rock that night. Saw Marvin Vtori earlier in the night. I wanted to go up to him, but he looked a little pissed off. So I think a lot of aggression was built up over that night. And these two were not happy. They went at it once, and then they separated. And then a little bit later, Brendan Allen comes in, big right hand, cracks Marvin Vtori across the chin, bare knuckle. Marvin Vtori didn't even flinch, man. This man's still durable in the casinos, probably off of 5 margaritas. He's good. But he is also fighting with a heavy heart. We got to remember that. RIP to Marvin Vittori's brother. Hate to see that, but I'm sure he's motivated for this one. Hopefully he's taken that energy and channeled it into something good here for the fight. But break it down for me, man, because I'm going back and forth on this one. What do you got?
Yeah, look, RIP to his brother. Obviously, that's a tremendous tragedy, and I wish him all the healing and everything that all the positive vibes, man. But that being said, I don't really factor that into my analysis. To me, I think that Vittori's been on a decline for a hot minute. I mean, listen, anytime a dude gets a significant strike record set on his face, I'm not picking them to win fights, whether it was Calvin Kattar last week, what's he looked like since the Max Holloway fight, anytime that happens to someone, they do not come back the same. That's just the bottom line. And they might win a fight here and there, but when you zoom out, they're going to be on a big skid. And that's what I see happening here to Vtori, because even in his prime, what was he known for? That blockhead, that block chin, meaning like you could take a baseball bat to Vittori's chin and he'd stand and smile at you. You know what I mean? But like, it's such an obvious sign of a decline when, like, firstly, I didn't even think he beat Dolidze the first time, but to compare the two fights, you beat Dolidze when Dolidze is like, what, 33? But then you get shut out by him when he's 37. Come on, man. And you're like 31, 32. Yeah, I just haven't seen the same guy since I think maybe the second Adesanya fight. And now he's starting to get wobbled in fights. Now he's starting to get hurt badly in fights. And the thing with Brendan Allen is he's super talented everywhere. Like his ground game, his striking, everything. And like for a young guy who's still in his 20s, I'm pretty sure, or just turned 30. He's still in his 20s, right?
I think he's 29, yeah.
He's 29. This guy came into the UFC with like a shit ton of experience. He's a young vet. But man, he's got the IQ of a loaf of bread, dude. Like the round 1 against Nasruddin, he looked like the best fighter on planet Earth. What happened in rounds 2 and 3? The first minute against Fluffy, the first time and in the rematch, it's like, damn, like Brendan's got something for Fluffy. And then what happened? But Marvin doesn't fight at the relentless grappling pace of a guy like Fluffy, and Marvin's not on a title trajectory like Imavov. So this is, I think, a good matchup for Brendan. as long as he can keep his head straight, as long as he doesn't lose his mind, I think he'll be okay here everywhere the fight goes. I think he can stand with Marvin. I don't think Marvin has that much power to kind of make Brendan hesitant, hurt Brendan, or kind of, like make him gun shy like Nasruddin did. But I also think that was like Brendan gassing himself out in round one. Like, dude, if I could trust Brendan this much, I would lay the money line here. I just don't trust Brendan. But as a pure pick, I am going Brendan because, like, I've thought Vtori was on a decline even before Cannonier set a significant strike record on his face. And since then, you saw the subsequent Dolidze rematch, which I bet Dolidze, like plus 135-ish? I don't remember. It's been a minute, but yeah. I'd like to get to an Allen bet. It's just, can I trust Allen, especially at, a price like this in this economy, Hayden? Can I? Talk to me. What do you think?
Personally, I'm not going to be playing a Brendan Allen at what, minus 205.
I understand.
Yeah, I just don't think I could do it. Like you said, I mean, the IQ is just, it doesn't make sense to me sometimes. And there's a lot of stuff that he does well that I really could get behind here, but majority of what he does well is finishing fights on the ground. And I don't know that he's going to get Vtori to the ground and get to his back and finish him. So,
hey, real quick, before I forget this, let's do a little bit of trivia. And I think I'm right about this. What's Brendan Allen's record versus southpaws in the UFC? He's fought, I'll just tell you this. He's fought 6 southpaws. Just take a guess. 6 southpaws. What's the record?
I'm gonna say 3-3.
6-0, baby. 6-0 versus southpaws. Now,
oh, it can't be. He got knocked out by Chris Curtis.
Oh, I guess they got Curtis listed as orthodox, so
really?
They got to fix that then.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking like Muniz was.
So okay, so if that's the case, then it's 7-1 because I didn't count either Curtis fight because they listed him as orthodox.
Who are the fighters then that are
let's see. So I know Muniz, I know Alvi, I know let me pull it up 1 second. All right. Jotko, Carl Roberson, Kyle Dawkins, Tom Breeze. So essentially, and they still got Chris Curtis listed as orthodox on UFC stats. So unless they fucked all this up, if we include Curtis, 7-1 versus southpaws. If we don't include him, 6-0.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at Vtori, like I kind of see like Chris Curtis, but like a lesser of a striker, a guy with good takedown defense, mainly boxing, durable. And I honestly think Chris Curtis is like a really tough matchup for Brendan Allen because he's pretty much got to strike with him. And if he gets to his back, he has no neck to choke him out. And he got to the back a couple times in that second fight when they main evented, but he couldn't choke him out. So I look at this one and I'm like, Brendan Allen at minus 205 is for a fight that I think is probably going to go to a decision. I don't really trust Brendan Allen to run away with the striking. Like, I think the striking will be fairly competitive. Vittori's got good output. He doesn't have much power, but I don't know that Brendan Allen has much power. So I think it's kind of just going to be back and forth on the feet. I don't know that. I mean, even if Brendan Allen does try to wrestle, maybe he gets some success early on. But if he starts failing takedowns, then he doesn't look good. He looks terrible, man. Like, if he starts failing takedowns, he starts to gas out and he doesn't look good. So that's why I can't really trust Brendan Allen, minus 200. Will I take a stab on Vtori? Probably not, just because I don't really have a ton of recent success to get behind. And I agree with you to an extent, like the decline is definitely there. And I was with you. I faded him with Dolidze his last fight. He didn't look good, man. He didn't look good at all. But he's back at American Top Team and doing what he needs to do. So maybe there is a point where Marvin Vtori by decision sneaks into my plays, but I don't think so. What do you think about the over 2.5? Like, do you think this fight goes to decision?
I'm glad you asked because, okay, we were talking about, Brendan versus southpaws. What about that fight he had against Puna Haley Soriano where he kickboxed him for 3 straight rounds, right? Like, he doesn't necessarily have to get the grappling going. I feel like it might even behoove him not to do that because, like you said, Vtori has no neck, right? So when you look at Allen's last 2 fights, right? He grappled way too hard early on. We can write off the fluffy fight. Let's talk about the Nasruddin fight. Maybe all that early grappling is why Allen gassed out. And if he can get back to like he did against Puna, 3 straight rounds of kickboxing, blast that hard body kick in there and box him up, there's a chance. Now, to your comparison of Curtis and Vtori, I see it, the body type and this and that, but like there's a big difference in power and there's a big difference in, how clean their hands are. I think Curtis has way cleaner hands than Marvin, man. Like sometimes like when Curtis rips to the body, it's like, damn, like it looks super nice. And I just think that, boxing for MMA, Curtis is a lot better. But what Vtori does well from that southpaw stance, big liver kick, he used to train at King's MMA, right? And he kind of had that style similar to like his old teammates, RDA and Beneil Dariush, pressure heavy southpaw style. But I don't know if it's a matter of him being on a decline or what the case is, but he just hasn't looked like that same guy to me, in a hot minute. So yeah. I would not be surprised if Brendan Allen beat him without any grappling.
Yeah, wasn't there some with Vtori with like his shoulder last fight too?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's dealing with injuries too, considering all the wars he's been in.
I think it was in the lead up to the fight, like that Vtori was taking the fight, even though he had re-injured his shoulder or something like that. And I don't know, something with that. And then there was also something with Brendan Allen against Imavov, they had to like draw blood or something in France.
Oh yeah, dude. Thank you. I totally forgot about that. So like they like randomly blood tested like maybe 2 or 3 select fighters, right? Yeah. Out of nowhere, dude. And Brendan Allen was one of them. And yeah, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah,
Take his blood the night before the fight. Like you don't do that to every athlete on the card. You only do it to the guy fighting the French fighter in the co-main event. Like, damn, son.
Yeah, that was fucked. At least Moicano got it done to beat the Frenchies that night, but Brendan Allen couldn't do it. Had a great round 1, but couldn't finish it off in 2 and 3.
It's almost like he was missing some blood,
Yeah, almost like he was, Yeah, I don't think he's death gas like that ever, except for that fight. So maybe it did play a factor.
But one more thing. So speaking of Allen's IQ, this kind of brings me back, the first Chris Curtis fight, not the second one, the first one, and even the Strickland fight. Now, you could say that was just due to the striking difference, between Allen and those two guys, but there was a lot of emotions going into that fight. And when you get a guy like Allen emotionally invested, these two had that brawl that you alluded to. That's when a guy like Allen can come out and do some dumbass things, right? Because if you go back and you watch that Strickland fight and that first Curtis fight, let's talk about that first Curtis fight. Strickland's in the corner talking all kinds of shit to Brendan Allen, and Brendan Allen's like smiling at Strickland in the corner, like not even focused on the fight. Hopefully, Brendan Allen's locked in and like, you've learned from those experiences, but yeah, it's tough to trust him in a heated battle based off his past, the past stunts he's pulled when people clown him a bit.
Yeah. I mean, if you're getting in a fight at a casino, like it's clear you got some problems in your head, like, like whether you're a fighter or not, if you're getting in a fight at a casino, there's some problems. There's some problems there, but Olajuwon, too bad Allen DX crotch chop him.
Okay, I see what he's saying. He's saying like Curtis and Strickland, charged the cage when Buddy did the crotch thing. He's saying Brendan Allen's about to do that in the corner now. I mean, after he wins or whatever.
Yeah. Well, he won't be in the corner now, but too bad Allen didn't.
There we go. Yeah. I get you. I get what you were saying, my man.
Facts. All right, we'll move on. Overall, that fight probably going to be a pass for me. This is an interesting one. This I've battled with for the last couple of days for sure. Kyler Phillips coming in here off the loss to Rob Font. Won the first round, lost the next 2. He was a massive favorite to win that fight. Drops the ball. Vinicius Oliveira, undefeated in the UFC. 3 straight victories in the UFC, all as the underdog. Nasty flying knee knockout against Bernardo Sopai. Pure domination against Ricky Simone. and then an underdog win again against Said Nurmagomedov in enemy territory at UFC Saudi Arabia. I mean, 22-3 for Vinicius Oliveira. Got a lot more fights under his belt than Kyler Phillips, but Kyler Phillips been the UFC veteran, got some great wins on his record. Coming in here as the underdog. I don't know if he's ever been an underdog, man. I think he's been pretty respected by the books, and now he's the dog compared to Vinicius, who hasn't been respected by the books. So it's a very interesting storm to break down here. What are you thinking?
So I think the only time he was the underdog was against Song Yadong. And speaking of that fight, man, he landed this high kick on Song Yadong that, to this day, to quote Deontay Wilder, I still don't know how Song Yadong ate it. And that could be a big problem for Vinicius, because when you've seen Vinicius's only L's on his regionals, he got caught, man. And the reason he got caught is because Vinicius is a super confident guy. He fights with his hands very low. He likes to play the mental warfare. He likes to clown guys. And for the most part, he goes out there and dominates, but from time to time, he will get caught with that style. And that could, of course, happen here. The issue with Kyler, you know exactly what the issue with Kyler is. It happened against Paiva. It happened against Rob Font. When you're as explosive as Kyler Phillips is, you have the movement he has. You have the dynamic kicks. You got the ridiculous wrestling. Like, he's got it all, man. He's so talented. Like, he's good everywhere. But, like, he doesn't know how to pace himself. And you'd think, having taken the setbacks he's taken, and, even on the regional scene, I think Victor Henry gas pedaled him.
Yeah.
On the Ultimate Fighter. Katona. Did Katona choke him out, or did he decision him? I don't remember. I know he choked Bryce out, but it's been a minute. So I'm hoping so my boy in the chat said he's hoping he made cardio improvement. So to me, it's not necessarily that this guy's like skipping his runs, right? Because like for him to make 135 pounds, that he's running his miles. It's more so pacing himself, right? You got to not just go balls to the wall from the jump, especially against Vinicius, unless you're going to get him out of there.
Yeah.
Because if you do not get Vinicius out of there, he is a nightmare in the second and third round. He is a boogeyman. When I bet him against Said Nurmagomedov in Abu Dhabi, of all places. Now, granted, I will say that wasn't, Vinicius, that wasn't his first time in the UAE. He actually fought, a lot of his regional fights in the UAE. So, and like you said, look at his record. What, 22-3? I can't see. I need my glasses. This isn't some random prospect who's had less than 10 pro fights, who, isn't quite seasoned. This is a guy, like Dana said, we can throw him right in the mix right away. And that's exactly what they're doing. So I think the early going is going to be scary. And I think that Kyler is live for an early knockout. But if he does not get that early knockout, I think he's getting cooked here. And I think Oliveira wins the second and third round and wins a unanimous decision.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I think too, man. Like, Alex put it right here, man. Kyler isn't shit without the roids.
That's funny.
And I don't know what they're doing at the MMA labs, but they got to hook their brother up, because it seems like everybody at the MMA lab has endless cardio. I mean,
what makes you think he's not on them? I mean, he looks great in the first round. He just can't pace himself.
Well, he's got to get that EPO. I don't know.
Okay, that's different. Yeah,
EPO's got to be in that system, because if it is, I think he's skill for skill the better fighter. But
yeah, I agree with that.
Is definitely a concern, because, but I mean, this could be a solid live betting spot too. Because I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Kyler goes out there, knocks him out round one, or club and subs him, because Vinicius fights so reckless.
Yep.
Like you could definitely catch him with something. And at the same time, he's kind of got that DDP plot armor to where he's swinging these wild hooks and it just works sometimes, man. Like, the guy's striking is not pretty whatsoever. His whole game isn't pretty at all. It's just pure dog. It's I'm gonna come in here and bully you. I just want it more. And that's why he loses a lot of these early rounds and then, battles back and tires you out. He's very physical, which is a big thing in MMA. And Kyler's really not that physical of a guy. I mean, very explosive, very fast, and has a lot of skills, but unless he's controlling the dance, like I don't know that I can really trust him to dog it out as the fight goes on. So that's why I kind of lean towards Oliveira. But considering where the betting odds have been, this just makes perfect sense to take a shot on Kyler Phillips. But when I break it down, I just don't know that I could really get excited about, Kyler Phillips at plus 133 if the fight hits the second round. Like what's Kyler Phillips round one? What is that? Plus 600? That's not even that great, honestly. I would expect it to be a little bit better. I mean, maybe the fight to not go the distance. What is that at? Plus 130? It's not bad, dude. Like, I could see Vinicius finishing him late, but Vinicius does slow down as well. Like he just battles through it and he's got more heart. It's not like he's the same guy as he was in round one. But he's definitely going to be fresher than Kyler Phillips. Maybe Vinicius late.
And has Vinicius been dealing with an ongoing rib issue that I've kind of noticed, like maybe in that Saeed fight and even early on in the Bernardo fight. It's like he's always grabbing his rib, man. It's like he's got some kind of issue there. I don't know what the deal is, but like you said, dude, it's almost kind of ugly, but it's super effective. And he's so physical. He's massive for the weight class. And also he's a consummate professional, man. If you follow him, you know that he's in shape year round. He's on the finest Brazilian supplements. He's definitely harvesting the garden of life, fruits and vegetables, but he's got to fight with his hands up in that first round because that shin to chin, it does not discriminate. It does not care who you are,
Yeah. I mean, he could get caught at any point in the fight, too. I mean, he's been knocked out in round 1, 2, and 3. Those are his 3 losses. So he's just so open to getting hit. I think Kyler could maybe snipe him in early on in the fight. But if he doesn't, man, Vinicius is going to be there. Very tough fight for me to call just because I don't want to say it's clear, but it just seems clear. Kyler's going to have success early. And if Vinicius can either weather it or take over, then he's going to have more left in the tank as the fight goes on. So I haven't gotten involved yet. Not really sure if I'll get involved on this fight either. There's so many fights on the card. It might just be better to pass on the ones that you're not super confident in.
Yes, sir. Hey, real quick, man. I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be right back. Okay.
No problem. I'm gonna hit the chats real quick. Elijah Wan, yeah, it's gonna be sketchy after round 1. How isn't Vinicius minus 200? Well, I mean, he's been a dog his last 3 fights. And Kyler Phillips was just a massive favorite. I mean, Kyler's not a bad fighter by any means. He's a really solid fighter. Just the cardio is the question. Taking the over 1.5 on this one. Marvin, talking about the other one. You have better cardio than Kyler? I don't know about that, Enrique, unless you're some endurance athlete. I don't know. Oliveira just beat a couple really tough fighters. I think Oliveira runs through Phillips. That's true. I mean, yeah. I mean, they're really good wins. It's not like he's, coming off a win against a fucking Chris Moutinho, like he's doing it against some really solid fighters. Now, Saeed's a guy that kind of does gas a little bit. So you got to take that into account. But I mean, he still did exactly what he needed to do. Might have to put a little on Kyler round 1. I wouldn't blame you. I think I don't want to say his win condition, but most likely win condition. But at the same time, I mean, who's Kyler Phillips sparking in round 1? It's not many people, but Oliveira is there to be hit and hit hard for sure. Oliveira put the beats on Ricky badly. Dude, those leg kicks were nasty. That's one thing with Oliveira. His leg kicks are hard, man. Hard. Underdog line's not moving yet. If you're talking about Underdog, the app, I can't confirm nor deny because I haven't looked at them since yesterday when I put my plays in. But the Underdog line on Oliveira seems like it's coming down. Or at least, yeah, the line on Oliveira is coming down. Kyler Phillips is coming down. It's tightening. I think Ricky beats Kyler right now. Maybe. I think that would be a pretty close fight, but all right, Dan is back. Let's hop into the main card. where we start off with Michael Johnson and Daniel Zellhuber. Zellhuber coming off the loss to Esteban Ribovics. Insane fight. My favorite fight of 2024. Unbelievable stuff. I was screaming watching it. I don't know how he didn't get knocked out, but the guy's got some heart. He's got a chin. He's huge for the weight class, still very young. And then on the other side, we got Michael Johnson. Back-to-back wins for MJ. Ottman Azaitar dead. Darius Flowers, 30-27. Some real solid wins there for MJ. Big step up compared to those guys here against for MJ going up against Daniel Zellhuber. MJ, he is the vet of all vets. He's been up at the top, then fell off, but he's still sticking around. He's still got some really good skills. He's coming in here as a huge dog against Zellhuber, and I think it's going to be a tough fight for MJ, man. I think he could have some moments early. Zellhuber's a little bit of a slow starter, but I think once Zellhuber establishes that range, then Michael Johnson's going to have a tough time, because in order to have success, I think MJ's got to be able to land his hands. And Zellhuber, for the most part, I think he uses his length pretty well. When he's got that jab flowing, I think that's when he's at his best. And then when you have to enter the pocket, he'll hit you with knees up the middle, elbows as you're coming in. He's got good takedown defense as well. Snuck in that submission against Christos Giagos. So I think Zellhuber gets this one done. I could see a finish as well. Johnson's been finished a lot in his career. I could maybe even see a submission, man. Michael Johnson has tried to mix in some wrestling in his last 5 fights or so. And if he does that against Zellhuber, I think he could get another front choke here. So I think that Zellhuber gets a finish here. What do you think?
Look, Zellhuber should win, but I'm pretty sure I said that when he fought Trey Ogden too, and I haven't forgotten about that. Now, the last fight with Ribovics, you gotta wonder how he comes back from that. Ribovics came back, he lost his subsequent fight. Now, I think Ribovics is a lot more durable than Zellhuber. I'm curious how Zellhuber bounces back, because MJ is one of those guys that can beat anybody and can lose to anybody. Proof, he beat Dustin Poirier by first round knockout. He lost to Jamie Malarkey. Like I said, this guy can beat anybody. This guy can lose to anybody. This guy beat a prime Tony Ferguson, actually handed him his first UFC L. Also beat Edson Barboza in Brazil. But then, let's pull up some of these L's, man. It's like, but then he'll get heel hooked by Thiago Moises and lose a majority decision to Stevie Ray. So you just never know with Michael Johnson. And I have to speak in these terms when we're dealing with a minus 600 on a kid who took a ridiculous amount of damage his last fight. And, you talk about how he has to use that range, right? Dude, I agree, but it's like, it takes a little bit to get there. Look at that Lucas Almeida fight on Contender Series, man. He was getting tagged badly in that first round. The first round against Prado, he was getting tagged badly in that first round. The last fight against Ribovics, he was getting rocked all over the place, man. So I like Zellhuber. I think he's a good prospect, but I think he blocks punches with his face. And I think he's minus 600 here coming off a possible life-changing war. So I'm not interested at minus 600. Now, as a pure pick, yeah, I'm going to take Zellhuber. Michael Johnson is 39 years old. Is he a literal 500 fighter? What's his actual record right now? 24-19, almost.
His UFC record is 500.
It should be Zellhuber, but I've said that before and been wrong. So it's a pass for me, but pure pick Zellhuber.
Yeah. Let's pull up the odds here, see if we can see anything. I don't mind the fight to not go the distance minus 150. If MJ's going to win, I think it's probably a KO. Zellhuber's never been knocked out, but it could be.
Yeah, that doesn't matter though. We said that Cater's never been dropped. Cater got dropped last week. Max Holloway's never been knocked out. Max Holloway got knocked out his last fight. So it's like, just because it's never happened doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
Yeah. He's never fought MJ before. That's what it is. Was Zellhuber sub plus 400? I would have liked a little bit more. I would have liked like plus 500, but maybe
they're onto it.
Yeah, maybe we get that somewhere else. We'll see.
What's round 2, Zellhuber?
Ooh, I kind of like that. Plus 400.
Still plus 400?
Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, you might as well take the sub then, but watch him
Yeah.
win by knockout now. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you're not really going to get too much great lines on Zell Huber when he's minus 600, but I don't mind that fight doesn't go at minus 150. Just considering, I mean, Yagos did kind of hit Zell Huber hard too in that fight.
Everybody kind of hit Zell Huber hard, dude. I'm telling you. Once his chin goes, it's going to be very scary.
Yeah. Mexican chin, though. All right. Mexican chin can never go, can never leave. It's there forever. All right.
Zell Huber is such a Mexican last name, too, right?
Yeah. What is that, dude?
It's German, right?
Is it?
I mean, I think so, right?
I don't know. I've never heard of a Mexican that's named Zell Huber. I mean, it should be what? Martinez?
Definitely not Zell Huber.
Well, I mean, he's kind of like the UFC's Mexican golden boy at this point. Like, it seems pretty clear to me that after a loss to Ribovics at the Sphere card, they want to get this guy a win. They're going to give him a 39-year-old guy that's, I mean, he's obviously like not a bum. Like Michael Johnson's not a bum, but he's way later in his career. They're not going to give him who else could they give him?
What about a Trey Ogden rematch? Does he win that?
I think he does. Like he should. He should have won the first time, but I don't think I mean, Zell Huber just didn't do anything the entire fight. That's kind of his problem. I think if he just threw more, he'd be more effective. But
yeah, that fight wasn't even about what Ogden did right. That fight was about what Zell Huber did wrong. But still, I laid like minus 240 there, and I thought I capped the better fighter. Apparently not.
Yeah, they called him the golden boy. I remember that fight. UFC debut. I was like, this is the fucking golden boy from Mexico. Like, what? Trey Ogden's fucking jabbing and leg kicking him, and he's not doing anything. It was crazy.
You know what's crazy, Hayden, is that his very next fight against Lando Venata, I think I got Zell Huber minus 125. That is the definition of recency bias, market overcorrection, et cetera, et cetera. That is where you have true value. Minus 125 against Lando because he shot the bet against Trey. Everyone thought, oh, this is who this kid really is. But it was like, nah, he just had an off night. But my issue here isn't about him having an off night. My issue is he gets hit way too much and he's minus 600. That's my issue.
Yeah, that makes sense. And one reason why I think Zell Huber could get the finish here is because, one, Michael Johnson's been finished many times. But two, you look at his UFC fights, Zell Huber's. I mean, Trey Ogden, never been finished. Lando Venata, never been KO'd. Francisco Prado, extremely durable. Esteban Ribovics, extremely durable. And the one guy he did finish, Christos Giagos, has been finished before. So I think he could definitely get a finish against Michael Johnson. But we shall see. We'll hit the chats here. We got our boy, the parlay, in the chat. What's going on, brother?
Shout out my man, Nolan.
We're going to have to get you on the show again real soon. Zell Huber ain't no Mexican name. I guess not. I'm kind of interested to see what it was or what it is.
I'm guessing German. That's my money's on German.
We got a German Mexican. Ogden is a dog. I mean, Trey Ogden. He is a dog. I will give him that. He is a dog. I mean, he fought Moises with a torn bicep for like the whole fight. So
you kind of see that with like some Brazilian fighters too. Like Lipski ain't no Brazilian last name. There was this kid named Keenan Kruchevsky. Kruchevsky ain't no Brazilian last name. Yeah. So I feel like been a lot of moving from Europe to South America.
Yeah, that's true. O'Malley is Irish American. Very true. All right, let's get into the next one. We're talking about last names now.
That's
Dan Ige taking on Patricio Pitbull. I don't know about you, but when Pitbull made his UFC debut, I thought they were giving him the worst possible matchup they could give him outside of like the top 2 or 3 guys. Because I mean, he's short, he's old, doesn't wrestle anymore. He can wrestle, but he doesn't wrestle anymore. And he's going up against a mainly kicker that like skirts around the outside all the time. And Patricio Pitbull's his feet are stapled to the ground the entire fight. He's flat-footed, just waiting to counter. And so I was like, dude, Yair Rodriguez should easily win this fight. And he did. Now I think this is more like the level of where Patricio Pitbull should be. But at the same time, I just don't really trust him to win the fight. I mean, his durability is waning. We've seen him knocked out in Risen. He got hurt by Yair Rodriguez. He got hurt by Jeremy Kennedy. And if there's one guy you don't want to get hit by, it's Dan Ige, man. Like, Dan Ige, if he hits you, you're going to feel it. You're probably going to get knocked down or get knocked out. But, I mean, these are two smaller guys that are mainly counter strikers. If one guy's going to wrestle, it's probably Pitbull, but I can't really trust him to do it. So they're probably going to be striking. And I give the edge to Dan Ige. Dan Ige's more durable. I think he's got faster hands. I think his power is better than Pitbull's. Some people may tell you different, but I'm going to trust in Dan Ige. I'm going to take Dan Ige here, but he's getting to the point where his line is a little bit sketchy to me. I think right now he's around minus 200. So that's where I kind of draw the line as far as betting him. But I'm just not really interested in Pitbull, man. Like, his career is far gone, in my opinion. What do you think?
Dan Ige minus 220 in this economy?
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
hell no. Listen, man, I mean, Pitbull did look terrible his last fight, but it was also his UFC debut. He says he's listed at 5'6". He ain't no 5'6". He's like 5'4". He was going up against a dude who was damn near 6 feet tall in Yair. That was just a terrible matchup, like you said. Now, he is 38, so he might just look terrible this fight too. But this guy was actually a really good fighter outside the UFC. Like, I know a lot of people were trying to get on their high horse, acting like Patchy Mix was the best bantamweight outside the UFC. I was never one of those guys. I thought that Patchy Mix was suspect as fuck, especially on the feet outside of the UFC. So I wasn't surprised to see Patchy Mix get exposed the way he did, because I've always been like, yeah, this guy's overrated. Not Patricio, though. Patricio, back in his day, when he set back AJ McKee, when he had those two, the war with Emmanuel Sanchez, and then he finished him in the rematch. Like, this dude used to be a problem back in the day. Now, obviously, back in the day isn't now, and the odds reflect that. But Ige ain't a guy I trust, man. Ige's volume is too low. Ige cannot be trusted to wrestle. Ige gets his back taken almost every single fight. Ige will like drop opponents and then lose the next 2 rounds on a consistent basis. Like, I don't trust Ige. Ige's 4-6 in his last 10. So, of course, Ige does hit hard. Korean Zombie even said that, like, Ige is the hardest hitter he's ever fought, which is like crazy because Korean Zombies had fight of the nights with the 2 men in the main event, right? Fight of the night with Poirier, where he actually finished Poirier. Fight of the night with Max Holloway, where he got finished by Holloway. But for you to say that this is the hardest hitter you've ever fought, not Poirier, not Holloway, hey, man, credit to Ige. I think that speaks a lot of volumes to, what kind of power he has in his hands. But, like, if he is not hurting Patricio consistently and getting him out of there, how does this fight look, man? Because Patricio has a way of getting people to kind of slow down their volume a bit and kind of play like a measured counter striking game. I actually think it's going to be a boring 3-round fight if someone doesn't get knocked out. And a boring 3-round fight plays into Patricio's favor. Listen, man, I can't confidently say I'm taking him. The age, how he looked his last fight, how he's looked his last couple fights, all that. But, like, I don't know. At these odds, I might be willing to take a small 1-unit shot and roll the dice, because I do not trust Dan Ige at odds like this. And I think Patricio is better than he showed. So could be a buy low spot. We'll see. He could also be completely shot, but that's why we don't go big on a spot like this. 1 unit or pass. But I'll go Patricio for the upset.
I agree with you. I think it could be a boring 3-round fight, dude. Like, both guys are counter strikers at their core. I don't see either guy willing to take the front foot and be the aggressor. So I think it's going to be like very low volume, especially early on in the fight where they're trying to feel each other out. I saw a chat in here. I think it was from Sergio. Pitbull's going to try to wrestle. He has Cejudo in his camp.
Look, dude, if he does that, like we said, Ige, how many times has this dude's back been taken in multiple fights, like against a wide spectrum of opponents? So, yeah, I'm not going to be surprised one bit.
50% takedown defense, man. Like, if there was ever a time Pitbull should wrestle, it is this one. Like, you could easily win this fight with just wrestling. You don't even need to put your chin on the line against Dan Ige, and that's probably what you don't want to do against Dan Ige. So, yeah, I mean, I think the path to victory is there. Do I trust him to do it? Not really. And like you said, like I can't really trust Dan Ige at minus 220, man. Like he's fairly low volume. If he doesn't land a knockdown in a round, I think it's going to be close. If he does land a knockdown, could pull Lerone Murphy, just lose the next 2 rounds. If he doesn't find the knockout, like it's a little bit sketch. So, I mean, maybe, do I really trust him to knock out Pitbull? Not really. Like, I don't really know if Pitbull's going to put himself in the position to get knocked out unless Dan Ige is being the aggressor and just putting it on him. But I don't know. This is like a kind of a pass for me, man. I think maybe, they're on to the over.
Man, if this was 3 years ago, I'd confidently pick Pitbull, but with his current state, I can't confidently do it. But the odds reflect the current state, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Ige inside the distance, decision, no action, minus 325. It's probably one where it's probably the safest bet on that fight. Ige inside the distance, decision, no action. I don't think Pitbull's finishing him, so yeah, I can't really give you too much, Chad. I'm sorry, boys, but not really too interested in that one because don't really love either side. Don't love Ige at minus 220, and I don't really love Pitbull at where he's at in his career. So apologize for not really giving too much on that one, but that's just how it is sometimes. I'm checking the live likes right now. We got over 200 people watching on YouTube, and we're only at 80 likes. If you want the parlay, we got to get to 100 likes. We got 3 fights left to break down. If you're in the YouTube chat right now, hit the like button for us. We'll give you a parlay at the end of the breakdown. We got Dr. Peener in the IG chat. Ige better looking. Give me cutie, boy. All right. We're basing it off of that. That's cool. Ain't no way.
Don't get banned. Don't get banned.
I'm not. Poirier going out with the BMF belt. Easy money. Sergio, I had Ige, but might sprinkle a bet on Pitbull because you never know. That's true. You actually do never know, but sometimes you do know. All right, we'll go to the featured bout of the main card. We got Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez. They needed an extra fight on the card. They called up Kevin Holland, called up Daniel Rodriguez, and they slapped it together, threw it on the main card. Kevin Holland's 4th fight in 2025, and it's only July. He might be going for 6 or 7 in the year. Could definitely do it because he's coming in here as a big favorite, and I think he probably gets it done against Daniel Rodriguez. Because when I look at this one, man, like I don't see where Daniel Rodriguez beats him. I mean, this is at 170. Kevin Holland at 170 is huge for the weight class. And when I say huge, I mean, if you're going to strike with him, you're going to be at a disadvantage unless your name is Wonderboy Thompson or Jack Della Maddalena or MVP. But that ain't D-Rod, man. Like D-Rod is a come forward guy, a lot of volume with his boxing, but I don't think he's going to be able to get into that boxing range against Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland's probably going to finish him within 2, honestly. I mean, I don't really see how Daniel Rodriguez is going to take the shots from Kevin Holland. Not that D-Rod is not durable, but Kevin's just going to be way faster, hits super hard. If D-Rod gets hurt, watch out for that submission. So I think Kevin Holland gets him out of there real quick within the first 10 minutes, I believe. But I don't know if you remember it, but this was a fight that was supposed to happen at UFC 279, right?
Yep. And it ended up being D-Rod versus the Leech and Kevin versus Chimaev.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was destined to happen. Now we get it. What do you got on it?
Well, how old is D-Rod?
Oh, 38, 37?
I thought he was 39.
It might be 39. I don't remember.
Either way, you guys know the deal here. We were on a Fade Kevin Holland World Tour when he was lazy at 185 pounds, fighting these mammoths of men like what's Buddy's name? The grappler. Rainer. Like Rainer de Ridder, Dolidze, all these dudes. Yeah. You know, we were laughing all the way to the bank, but Kevin smartened up, dropped to 70s. And not only did he drop to 70s, he's specifically asking the UFC for old guys on their way out. He's not making, he's not trying to disguise that. He's not trying to beat around the bush. Like they're like, Kevin, you dropped to 70s. You want to make your title run now? He's like, no, I want to fight old guys on their way out. And that's exactly what they're giving him. So until that changes, I have to go with Holland. But As soon as they give me, someone that's in their prime, that's skilled, then we'll get back to fading Kevin Holland. But that's not the case here. He's fighting a 39-year-old. So Kevin Holland's probably going to rock him and submit him. So Kevin Holland.
Kevin Holland easy. I honestly think he's probably the safest play on the card, dude. Like, I know it's
600, right?
Is he minus 600? I thought he was like minus 450 the last time I checked, but
oh, you're right. You're right.
Is it minus 450?
Yeah, 460-ish.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I would feel better about that than Bruno Ferreira at minus 700, dude. Like, I know it's Kevin Holland, guys, but this is the fight. These are the fights that he wins, man. And I look at D-Rod and he's getting older. I mean, the last time he fought a guy that was lengthy at welterweight, he got head kicked by Ian Gary.
I was there. That shit was in Charlotte. Not Charlotte. Maybe Charlotte. I don't know. But it was in North Carolina.
Yeah. And then also Neil Magny got fucking submitted by Neil Magny, dude. Like, if Neil Magny's subbing you, then I think Kevin Holland could do it, dude. Like, Kevin Holland is a beast at 170, and you hit the nail on the head, dude. Like, he's not fighting contenders at 170 now. He's fighting old guys. Gunnar Nelson, Vicente Luque is not super old, but definitely past his prime. And D-Rod is, I mean, what was D-Rod's prime? He kind of came into the UFC and
exactly came into the UFC in his prime.
Yeah, came into the UFC at his prime, and he's kind of stayed in the same realm of the UFC for a little bit. So Kevin Holland it is. Kevin Holland inside the distance. What are we getting? Minus 155. I mean, I might have to just nuke that, dude. Honestly,
that's actually not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad because I could see either one, KO or a submission. I mean, Kevin Holland hits hard. He hits real hard. I mean, you think back to like the Wonderboy Thompson fight. I think that was like 9 or 10 fights ago for Kevin Holland now. And that was less than 2-3 years ago? It's crazy. I guess
what you need to be worried about is like in the Wonderboy fight, he's on top of him. And it's like, hey, here's your Darce choke finish. No, please get up and fight me. And then like in the Gunner fight, he like drops him. Like it's looking like, hey, 2 follow-ups and this dude's gone. That fight made it the distance. So yeah, a couple things that kind of, made me pursue with caution,
Very true. And he's probably like buddy with D-Rod because they're both weed smokers, they're both chill guys. So I guess that's a way that the minus 155 Kevin Holland inside the distance could not cash, but I just don't. Kevin Holland, come on, bro. Like he finishes most of his fights at 172. I think the Gunnar Nelson is really the only one that he didn't finish that he won, right? I mean, Tim Means he blew through. Alex Oliveira blew through. Vicente Luque blew through. Like, yeah, I think D-Rod gets it done. We'll hit the chats real quick, and then we'll hop into the next one. Wonder what Kevin minus 3.5 will be. Oh, we could check that out. That's actually not a bad look. Minus 3.5, minus 200. I don't know. Man, I think I'd probably rather just take the inside the distance. Blob by Gastelum.
Another time I lost money on D-Rod.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, man. Kelvin Gastelum's a 170 at his core. So, I mean, getting blobbed by Gastelum, I think Kevin Holland could probably do some similar things. Not blob him, but, tailing the better picks plays. Let's go, Phoebe. How we doing? I don't think they're homies. Although Kevin thinks D-Rod an easy check. Hey, I hope he does. I hope he does.
Yeah, but I think what we're saying is like, okay, with like the Luque fight, Luque was like, if you watch their face off, Kevin's talking the whole time. Luque is like, it seemed like he was like, I don't know, mesmerized. He wouldn't even say anything back to him. Whereas like here, I think Kevin would be like, hey man, let's smoke a joint after the fight. They dap each other up. I think there's gonna be a little bit more respect amongst them.
Yeah, I agree. We'll go to the co-main event. We got Paulo Costa, Roman Kopylov. Kopylov getting his biggest opportunity of his career. His last biggest opportunity was against Anthony Hernandez. He lost. Then he goes back, gets a win against Chris Curtis. Now he's stepping in as a co-main event slot on a pay-per-view. Not going to lie. I didn't see that one coming. But Paulo Costa still holding on to that name value, still holding on to that title shot he got against Israel Adesanya, where he got smoked. He's 1-4 in his last 5. His only win is against Luke Rockhold. He does have a lot of personality, and that's kind of what he's holding on to, but he hasn't been doing much in the cage. And when I look at this fight, I mean, there's a case where I could make for Paulo Costa. I'm like, I think if he comes in with a solid game plan, like, I don't think the skill set is too far off to where he's going to get blown out of the water. And if he comes in with a good game plan, like, I think he could implement it and he could maybe win. It's only 3 rounds. But Kopylov, he's such a clean striker. I think he's still improving. He's 34 though. I think they're both 34. So they're similar in age, but I would assume, Kopylov's more on the upwards trajectory. There are some holes though in Kopylov's game to where, he's a minus 230 favorite right now. I'm not super interested in betting that. But again, it's kind of like the Pitbull thing. It's like, I just got to see something from Paulo Costa before I believe in him. Because last week I believed in Calvin Kattar and he didn't show up to fight, man. Like, he just did it. He just didn't show up to fight against Steve Garcia. So these are the ones where it hurts me to break it down and really try to find a side that I like, because I can't really trust Paulo Costa. I know he's still got the skills, but even against Sean Strickland is a good fighter. But what's the one thing you don't do against Sean Strickland?
Have a jabbing contest with him?
Yeah, take the back foot. Why would you take the back foot for 25 minutes against Sean Strickland? You think it's going to work out well? No. And that's what he did for 25 minutes. So, I mean, if that's the fight IQ we're coming into this fight with, what is he going to do? Take the back foot against Kopylov and just let Kopylov kick away at him, jab at him? No, you got to come forward. You got to make Kopylov work. You got to put him through some type of ringer, whether it's cage control, whether it's just making him back up. But if he doesn't do that, he's going to lose. So, I think Kopylov probably wins, but minus 220, I don't know if I could trust it. What do you think?
I think that – did you see the stats in the Strickland fight, dude? Who concluded that Paulo Costa landed over 100 significant strikes, let alone over 150 significant strikes? Because, I mean, he didn't even land shit the first 2 rounds. Like, yeah, he threw a couple kicks and ran away. And they said he landed about 50 significant strikes between the first 2 rounds. What? Now, stats that I do agree with, the Marvin Vtori fight, where what's the theme we've been talking about? Guys that get significant strike records set on their faces. They don't look the same. This guy hasn't looked the same either. Now, we could say it was the Izzy fight that took away his confidence. I believe you 100% on that. But I was around when Paulo was the man. And the way he, conducted himself in the octagon back then, like when he fought Yoel Romero, compared to how he's fighting now, is not the same guy. Physique-wise, it's the same guy. I mean, BJ Penn would say it's an imposter, though, because they fight nothing alike, man. I mean, the guy that got the title shot against Izzy, I'm not saying the guy that fought Izzy. I'm saying the guy that earned the shot against Izzy. That guy was a marauder, bro, that walked forward without a care in the world. Huge bombs, big body kicks, insane takedown defense. The way he handled Yoel Romero was like, oh, shit, this guy could dethrone Adesanya. Not only did he not dethrone Adesanya, he was drinking wine the night before, getting wasted, then goes out there against Adesanya, completely shits the bed. Then he gets humped by a grown man. Then he comes back, gets a significant strike record set on his face. Then he has the literal ghost of Luke Rockhold. I'm talking about Luke with like a leg sleeve because he's got staph infection. I'm talking about Luke gassing out after one exchange. I'm talking about Luke putting his hands on his knees like in round 1. But I can't give one-sided info, Hayden. You know how I talked about hands on the knees? You know who else does that?
Kopylov.
Roman Kopylov. Dude, I want to like Kopylov here so badly because, like, when he lets his hands go, goddamn, is he clean, man. Like, and those guys that make it look easy with, nice, crisp, straight down the pipe punches, like, man, his technique is on point. It's snappy. but he's got these weird optics from time to time. Like, Buddy needs a second win in every single fight. And like, he'll be teeing off on someone, and then all of a sudden he'll start taking the back foot. All of a sudden he's got his hands on his knees. All of a sudden he's huffing and puffing. It's like, Roman, you were just putting a clinic on this guy. What the hell is happening now? And like, so when I was watching Roman and Chris Curtis, at times Roman looked incredible in that fight. And then other times you're like, wait, what's going on? Roman, keep it together, man. Roman, please don't fall apart. Roman, what's going on, bro? Roman, wait. Roman, please. Roman, no. But thank God, you know, Curtis, I guess his best days at middleweight are kind of long gone. So he wasn't able to take it. But the thing with Costa, man, if Costa's on the back foot the entire time, like you were saying, Kopolov's going to pick him apart. Kopolov's going to pick him apart regardless. It's just that what happens in the instances where Kopolov needs a second win, where Paulo's potentially fighting back. I don't know. And we have to lay a premium on Roman. Look, I'm going to pick Roman as a pure pick, okay? I have not liked how Paulo Costa's looked. The only kind of semblance of the old Paulo Costa was round 1 against Whitaker. But that's it. We haven't seen a far cry of the old Paulo besides that one round. That's all he had. So by default, I got to go Kopolov. But like, dude, are you going to be surprised if Kopolov starts having those terrible optics where he's completely gassed and maybe you see, you know, Costa turning up a bit? I'm not going to be surprised. But I'm also not going to be surprised to see the same gun-shy, timid, unconfident version of Costa that we've seen. I mean, how long ago was the Izzy fight, man? Let's be honest. How long ago was that? Oh my God. That shit was a fucking half decade ago, man. 2020, dude. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see the Paulo of old, but until I do, I can't pick him anymore. I got to go Roman here. But Roman, please, let's keep our gas tank in check. Let's keep these optics nice for the judges. No hands on our knees in this fight, please. And I think you should win, but contingent on a lot of things, right?
Right. I mean, Costa doesn't have a win over an active rostered UFC fighter, so that should tell you about everything. But I mean, Kopylov literally had to lay on top of Cesar Almeida because he was death gassed in round 3. So I don't know if he's going to be able to take down Paulo Costa in round 3 if it comes to that. So I mean, the cardio concern is definitely there for Kopylov. I don't think I'll be playing Kopylov at minus 230, man. I just don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I do think the fight could go the distance. I would favor it for sure. They got it at what, minus 160?
It's going to be like this. Kopolov's going to pick this man apart for 2 rounds. Then he's going to fall apart completely in round 3. Costa is going to have the best round he's had in years in round 3. And Costa's going to lose a 29-28 decision.
I could see it. That's kind of like, no, I'm not going to say that. It wouldn't be like that at all.
Costa bettors are going to be like, dude, why didn't you just start throwing from round 1? Like, you could have, this fight was within reach the whole time, but you decide not to let your hands go until round 3. Like, what the fuck, man?
You know what I was going to say? I was going to say Calvin Kattar versus Yusuf Zalal. That one gives me PTSD because that's literally what I said. I was like, dude, you could have done this the entire fight. Just pressure forward, throw what you have. Zalal's he's not gonna do anything but keep moving backwards and jab you in the face. Like, yeah, that's what happened. So, yeah, I think Kopylov probably wins the decision here, but minus 110, man. I mean, they're not giving it to you for free.
And they're sharp, man. Shit,
very sharp. I mean, what's Kopylov KO? Not even that good, man. Plus 240. That's brutal, man. Not much. Again. Not much on that fight that I really like. Anything you like that you see here?
Yeah, pre-tape, I liked Kopylov money line. Then I watched tape. I was like, oh shit, yeah, I can't be laying that price on a dude that has his hands on his legs, on his knees as recently as his last fight.
Yeah, I had Chris Curtis round 2 and 3 TKO, and after round 1, I was like, dude, he's got him. Like, Kopylov's tired. And then he did. He just caught that second win. And every time that it looked like Chris Curtis was starting to take over, he would just rip a couple big shots, get the respect back, get back to the center of the octagon, and get back to work. So, you know, at least he showed that in his last fight against Chris Curtis, which is a guy that does pressure the entire fight. Can I say that about Costa in this one? I don't know.
Back in the day, yes.
Yeah, back in the day, but not recently. Not recently whatsoever. So
And not recently, as in not for the last half decade.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Costa says he traveled the world the past year in an attempt to find the old Costa again. Okay.
Well, hopefully the steroids from across the world provide that for him, you know?
Yeah. The secret juice from across the world. He got all the juices from Thailand, from Dagestan, you know, every single juice you could find. He put it into one concoction. And he's drinking it.
And it hasn't worked.
It hasn't worked. Sergio, we're almost at 100 likes. We are almost at 100 likes. What are we at? 98 likes? 97 likes. Somebody just unliked it. They don't want to get it to 100.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're almost to the main event. If we can get to 100 by the end of the main event breakdown, we'll give out the parlay. We're almost there. We're almost 200 people. Oh, yeah, 200 people in the YouTube live stream. So just takes a couple to get us to 100. But make sure you hit it regardless. What do you say? We get into this main event.
Oh, man. I'm so pumped, dude. Like, you know, I said it last time they fought when I saw it in Atlanta. I said, you could headline these two every weekend and I'd be happy. Like, that's how good that fight was. And that's how good every Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier fight is. I mean, off the top of your head, name me one boring fight these two have been involved in.
Can't.
Exactly.
Can't. I mean, I would say I was there when Holloway fought Arnold Allen. I wouldn't say that was like a very exciting fight, except for like the last round. Yeah. But that was just because Holloway was putting on a clinic on him, really. You know, it wasn't, he wasn't able to like start a beatdown on him. That's why it wasn't exciting. But he controlled the fight for a majority of it. And then the last round, it kind of got a little exciting. But considering I was there in person, that's why I could maybe say it was not the most exciting Max Holloway fight, but it was still good.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if his most boring fight, he still lands over 100 significant strikes. He ain't doing too bad, you know?
Yeah. And he cashed me in too. I think he was only like minus 180 in that fight too. So it was easy.
Yeah, my dumbass took the underdog there.
You want to go? Max Holloway versus
Yeah, man, listen, bro. This fight's unbelievable. I mean, my breakdown hasn't really changed from the last fight. I feel like this is a true pick'em fight. I really do. You run this fight 10 times, you're going to see a different outcome 10 times. And, you know, for that reason, I just have to go with the underdog no matter who it is in this fight, because either guy can win this fight. And these guys are going to stand and bang until one man falls or until they get another fight of the year. And I know the red flags on the Poirier fight. He's retiring. That's the red flag. Of course, everybody knows that. And historically speaking, fighters on their retirement fight, they usually lose. Now, there have been exceptions. Chris Lytle with an incredible retirement against Dan Hardy, Mark Munoz, even Robbie Lawler. But besides those three, it's usually few and far between. They usually lose. But here's a kind of a red flag on the Holloway fight that I feel like no one's talking about, man. So a lot of people thought he looked career best against Gaethje, right? You took the time to put on the size to move up to 55s. You did it the right way. And one thing that the great George St. Pierre always talked about is his theory on why Roy Jones Jr. ruined his career, or one way that fighters can ruin their careers, is the yo-yoing, going up and down, up and down, up and down. And like, I understand why Holloway did it. He got a title shot. Of course, you're going to cut the way for a title shot. I mean, who doesn't want to be champion? But what kind of effect does that have on your body where you put on the size the right way? You look like, wow, Max really filled into this frame at 55s. He looks amazing against Gaethje. And then you drop the featherweight. And we talk about this often, right? Never been knocked down, never been knocked out, right? Well, in the Gaethje fight, he finally did get knocked down. In the Poirier fight, he finally did get knocked out. And it reminds me of another Hawaiian legend named BJ Penn, where he was also known for his insane durability, right? And it was always a thing where never been knocked down, never been knocked out, until he got knocked down and knocked out against Yair Rodriguez in subsequent fights. And I'm curious how Max looks now that he's finally taken that first canvas nap, you know, because I'm sure he had in his mind an aura of invincibility, thinking no one can knock me out. And Gaethje being the first one to drop him, and Poirier not just dropping him, but sleeping him cold after that brutal weight cut. I'm glad he's moving up, but I'm curious how he looks, man. And with Poirier, you know, I will say this. A lot of people are praising him for the Islam fight. Hey, one judge had it 2-2 going into the fifth. Low-key, as like a hardcore Dustin Poirier fan, as someone that's been following him since his UFC debut against Josh Grisby. You know, Grisby was supposed to fight Aldo that night at UFC 125. Aldo pulls out, so they call up this kid that no one's ever heard of named Dustin Poirier, and he beat the ever-loving shit out of Josh Grisby. That's how long I've been following Poirier. The Poirier that fought Makhachev, that looked like he slowed down a bit. In my humble opinion. I know a lot of people disagree with me because they think that that's like one of the best fights they've ever seen, but I also think they haven't been watching Poirier as long as I have. So to me, yes, Poirier is slowing down. Yes, this is Poirier's retirement, but Max ain't no spring chicken, man. And the yo-yoing up and down weight coming off your first knockout loss, that red flag evens out the retirement red flag for me. And it brings it right back to a pick 'em fight. You know, when you want to pick someone to beat Max Holloway, there's a few things that need to be intact, right? Like, how's your volume? Well, we know that Poirier's volume can match Holloway. How's your power? We know that Poirier can rock Holloway. How's your heart? We know that Poirier can go 5 rounds with Holloway and win. So what are the odds right now? Plus 120 last time I checked.
Plus 120. That is
Listen,
correct.
man, when this fight first got announced and Max was like plus 105, Max was plus 110. I was like, dude, Dustin's retirement fight, you're giving me Max at dog odds? Like, shit, I'm going to go with Max there. Now it's flipped. My opinion's flipped because I've always viewed this as a pick'em fight. I viewed this as a pick'em fight in 2019. I view this as a pick'em fight in 2025. Will it play out like a pick'em fight? Probably not. Someone's probably getting served here. But before the fact, who do I think is getting served? I don't know. I mean, if you told me, if I don't watch the fight and you tell me Sunday that either guy got knocked out, I believe you. If you tell me Sunday that they had a fight of the year contender and either guy won by decision, I believe you. So, yeah, I think it's a true pick'em fight. So for that reason, I'm a betting man first. And I'll take the underdog, Dustin Poirier, to be one of the few that retires on a win. And also gets that BMF belt along the way. Now, I do want to take something back because I did say that these guys fight 10 times. I'll always think it's a pick 'em. Well, the first time they fought, when was that? 2014, maybe? Let me double check when the first time they fought was. It's 2012. Okay, look, guys, I'm going to admit, the first time they fought, I thought Dustin was going to whoop his ass because it was Max's debut. He was only 4-0. Max hadn't proven himself back then. So back then, I thought Dustin was going to whoop his ass. But the second time, I was like, dude, this is a dead pick'em. It's plus 180 on Dustin. I got to go Dustin. This time, it's not plus 180, but it's plus 120. I line at minus 110 a piece, man. So I still got to go Dustin. And much respect to both legends. And I'm truly grateful to have witnessed both of their careers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of both of them. I got posters on my wall of both of them. I got to meet Dustin Poirier at the gym I was training at in Florida when I was living there. Boca Boxing, Dustin Poirier's boxing coach, went to his gym for a year and a half while I was living there. So I'm always a huge fan of Dustin Poirier, and I'm sad to see him retire, but I'm glad that he's getting a retirement fight on a pay-per-view in his home state. I think it's the perfect way to go out. But who's to say he's not going to come back for the White House fights? I mean, he might just come back for that. This fight, though, I don't think it's easy to pick a winner because I would lean Max Holloway just because I think he's a little bit more in his prime. But you made a lot of good points about moving the weight classes, getting his first knockout loss. It's not great, to come back into a fight against Dustin Poirier, who's another great boxer who has some of the record for most knockouts in the lightweight division.
Not only that, thank you, because I was going to forget about this. Not only does Dustin have the most knockouts in UFC lightweight history and some of the most knockouts in UFC history because he had a bunch of knockouts at featherweight too, Max has the record for most significant strikes landed at featherweight. Dustin has the record for most significant strikes landed at lightweight. These guys are just two fucking record breakers, man.
They are two legends. But as far as a winner goes, man, I'm not really interested to like bet on a winner, really, because I think both guys have red flags. I think both guys have some upside for what they do. I mean, I think Poirier does hit harder, but Max Holloway, I think he has upped his power, since the first time that they fought. And then I think Max Holloway is going to be filled in better at 155, but considering he just went back down to 145, how does he look now? There's a lot of questions there. The red flags for Poirier is obviously retirement fight. His last fight against Makhachev, he went into the fight with broken ribs.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, no, I talked to the coaches, so I mean, like, I knew that.
Maybe like, okay, bruised ribs, but not broken ribs. He can't breathe if he has broken ribs.
It might have been bruised ribs. I don't think it was broken ribs. I think I misspoke, but bruised ribs. And then he broke his nose in the fight and tore his knee up in the fight. So that's like, he's got a lot of mileage on his body. I don't know that I could trust his body to hold up for 25 minutes of hard action. So you got to take that into account as well. Obviously, he's probably not going to be grappling a ton, like he is against Makhachev. But still, I mean, it's 25 minutes of all action, man. They're not going to be taking a lot of breaks. So you got to take that into account. And then overall, like, I think Max is probably at a better point in his career to where I think he has more left to give. But who's to say this isn't the start of the downfall? Poirier, on the other hand, look at his wins. They're not really aging well. I mean, Benoit Saint-Denis doesn't really age that well. Michael Chandler doesn't age that well. Conor McGregor doesn't age that well either. We haven't even seen him since
Max Holloway twice ages really well, though.
Yeah, I mean that's 6 years ago, though. I mean, I'm talking to his most recent wins. So I'm not really interested in betting on a winner here, man. What I'm really interested in, though, is fight doesn't go the distance, plus 115, man. I mean, there's a lot of indications where I could see this fight not going the distance. I mean, obviously the first fight did go the distance, or the second fight, I guess, technically. Second fight did go the distance, but the first fight, Dustin Poirier submitted him long time ago. Obviously, he could maybe throw it out, but Max Holloway's only been finished twice in his career, and one of the guys that did finish him, he's fighting this Saturday. Max Holloway's also hasn't gone to a decision his last 3 fights. Dustin Poirier hasn't gone to a decision his last 7 fights. BMF history, never gone to a decision. These guys are going to be standing. Watch that second fight and tell me how many times you thought that could have been the end. Like, I think at plus 115, fight to not go the distance is like, if it does go the 25 minutes, are you really going to be feeling like you never had a chance? Like, I think that's probably the angle I'm going to take here, because I'm not really interested in picking in a winner. And I could see either guy. I mean, Max Holloway just got KO'd first time. Dustin Poirier, most knockouts in the division. Dustin Poirier's been finished, 7 times in his career? Max Holloway even in the second fight, Max Holloway hit him with some big shots. And I don't know that he's going to be as durable as he was 6 years ago. So that's kind of the angle I'm taking, man. I'm going to pick Max for my pick, but I'm not confident in it either. And honestly, I want to see Dustin Poirier win. I just think Max is at a little bit better of a point in his career. And he's got a lot of motivation coming in here, trying to get a win over a guy that's beaten him twice. And Poirier, probably a lot of pressure on him as well. Retirement fight in his home state. Body could fail him. You never know. But I want him to win. We'll see, though. That's all I got. We'll go to the chats here, and then we'll cook up a little 2-leg parlay for you. Dan, you can start thinking about what leg you want while I hit these chats. And then we'll hop out of here. We'll go wipe your mouth, damn. What if Dustin finally gets his long-awaited guillotine? I mean, very, very low likelihood.
He's sub-max before.
That's true. That's true. Dustin via guillotine with 1 second left. Joshua Van versus Pantoja at the White House. Hey, that would be a sick fight.
Sick fight.
I would get beat up any day. Hey, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not the worst. If you grapple me, probably, but on the feet, I think I could hold my own.
I don't want no smoke with Hijab on the feet, man.
Against some random, I think I could hold my own on the feet. Diamond fighting with a broken nose still from the Islam fight. Yeah, that's true. I don't know if he got it fixed. And I mean, last fight that Holloway had at lightweight, he spinning back kicked Justin Gaethje in the nose. So I mean, could definitely do it again. You know,
that spinning back kick of Holloway's is sneaky good, man.
Yeah, and that's also one thing that I don't think he had it in the first I always say the first fight because I think it's just really the only fight that they had because kind of just throw out the first one, but the title fight that they had. It wasn't really throwing many kicks, and I think Holloway's kind of upped his kick game. Body kicks, spinning kicks, leg kicks a little bit more. So I don't know.
That'll be interesting to see. Maybe the reason he didn't throw as many is because Dustin's a southpaw. Maybe that I don't know. That's a guess, but who knows? But to your credit, look, he did spin back in the day multiple times, but like that last fight against Gaethje, I know the one you referenced where he kicked his nose, but like a couple times when he rocked Gaethje, he just started spamming the spins, and it was like looking like, damn, like he's messing this dude up.
Yeah, I mean, he put a beating on Gaethje, big beating. I have the poster on the wall of Max Holloway standing over him with my ticket of Max Holloway round 5 KO at plus 7,500.
Wow,
because I was there at UFC 300. It was the craziest hit I've ever had. Just because it was, I mean, one of the sickest moments in UFC history.
Yeah, man.
And I actually had it. So, yeah, it's sick. But,
dude, real quick, how many people walked away in like the last minute? They're like, oh, Holloway easily won. Let's go get our drinks. And they missed that moment.
Probably a lot. Probably a lot. I was actually sitting next to Bo Nickel's parents up in some lounge. So we were there when Bo Nickel won against Cody Brundage. But I don't think they were there for the Holloway fight, so they might have missed it. Crazy story. But let's cook the parlay, man. What are you thinking on your leg?
What are you thinking on your leg? Are you on a straight bet? Are you doing a prop? What are you doing?
I think I'm going to go prop.
Okay.
Just because like the money lines are pretty wide. So I'm going to give, something a little bit better than, minus 400 or something. But you can do whatever you want, man.
What about Crute inside?
I was thinking about that one. But I got another one that I'm going to use. So I will let you have that one. What do you got for the odds on that one? Do you have it?
I think it's minus 140. I think.
Minus 140?
Oh, wait. I might be wrong about that. Hold on. Let me double check. No, it's minus 140. Should I do that or should I do the fight doesn't go the distance in the main event plus 115?
No, you could stick with that. Crute? Crute inside the distance.
Yeah, let's cash this before the main event. You're right.
Crute inside the distance. And I know you just said that, but fuck it. I'm going to take the fight to not
Let's go.
I'm going to take the fight to not go the distance. I was going to do Holland inside the distance, but I think I'd rather just take some plus money on the main event, dude.
Fuck yeah.
All right. So we got Jimmy Crute inside the distance. I would type it in the chat, but my keyboard is all the way over there, so I can't go get it. So you're just going to have to listen, okay? Jimmy Crute. Hemi Crute inside the distance, minus 140. Parlayed with the fight to not go the distance in the main event at plus 115. That's a plus 269 parlay. You're going to more than triple your money on that one. All right. So you bet $100 on it. Not saying you do this, but if you did, bet $100 on it, you're going to win $269. Hemi Crute inside the distance, fight to not go the distance, main event. We just need a couple finishes, boys. And we cash it in, plus 269. Dan, I appreciate you for joining. Kept you here for over 2 hours. Held you hostage here on the Hey Job Picks YouTube channel. But I appreciate it. Please shout out anything that you got that you want the chat to go check out.
I want to shout out you, and I want to shout out the chat, man. Thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure. And for all the fans, I don't know if y'all know this, but my boy Hey Jive came to Atlanta, Georgia. He watched the fights with me in the suite. And then after the fight, we got to meet ATL's own, well, actually Augusta, Georgia's own, but the star of UFC Atlanta, Malcolm Wellmaker. And tomorrow, live at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to be breaking down the fights. I'm talking about UFC 318. I'm talking about Dustin versus Max. I'm talking about this entire card with the aforementioned Malcolm, the Machine, Wellmaker. So make sure y'all tap into Half the Battle tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. Me and Malcolm are going to break down the card. I look forward to that. And hey, Jav, thank you again for having me, man. For real.
Yeah, fellas, chat. Half the Battle is tagged in the description below or on the title here. Go check that out. Gonna be a good show, I'm assuming, with Big Malcolm, because we met him there. Super cool dude. He was so happy to see us, and that's, I don't want to say it's rare, when you meet a UFC fighter that they're happy to see you, but he was especially, happy to meet everybody. So a good dude, doing good things in the UFC. Dan doing good things on the YouTube. Been in the game a long time, so I got a lot of respect for you, Dan. Shout out to the chat for sticking with us for over 2 hours, but we're gonna hop out now and go get some sleep. Appreciate y'all. We'll be back very soon. Till next time, Hey Job Picks, we out.